We're live from Chaska High School here on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. 2022 high school football season is underway. Ryan Paul, Mike Schmid back with you here for our fourth season of Chaska Hawks football on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Want to thank you for tuning in for yet another beautiful night here. 80 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Well, actually a few clouds are in the sky now, but it was a beautiful day here in Chaska, Mike. Almost unseasonably warm. We're playing football.
Yeah, we'll take it. You know, those late August, early September days, some cramping can be an issue when it gets up this warm, but you know what? It's better in the sleet and the rain and sideways that we usually deal with in the later season.
Chaska Hawks, bit of a new look team this year. We'll talk about that in a minute. They had a 9-0 season going into the section championship where they got routed by Mankato. Not going to talk a whole lot about that, but that 9-0 season, impressive. Going to see some new names out here this year, though, Mike.
Yeah, basically all new names. I think last year we had 16 starting seniors. This year we've got 15 starting seniors, so the new senior class is just kind of inheriting that role, hopefully providing that leadership and, you know, that level of experience and that championship level. They can bring that to the team.
Not a young team per se, but not exactly an experienced club either. You've got some starting linemen that have seen a couple years. Leo Smalley comes to mind, Rector. But for the most part, new look quarterback, new look running back, new look backfield altogether. See what happens here tonight for Chaska.
Jamarius Courtney's taken over the reins at the quarterback position. Reese Turner, familiar name, obviously back from last year. He's going to be starting at halfback. We're going to expect to call his name a lot. We also have two starting tackles that are sophomores. I mean, honestly, we've got almost the same amount of sophomores playing this year as we do juniors. So that's something to keep an eye on, see how they adjust quickly early on in the year.
Going to be a big night, or a big season, we hope, for Reese Turner. Chaska, not a team that throws the ball a lot historically. Reese Turner, returning senior running back. Going to be a big year for him.
Yeah, expect more of the same. Jack Boyle obviously almost went for 2,000 yards last year, and his effort, he was great. He's going to be sorely missed, but Reese is definitely up to the task. He's been a big part of this program for the last 3 years. He had played a little bit as a sophomore as a defensive end in passing situations. He spelled Boyle quite a bit last year and did a great job of doing it, so expect to hear his name a lot tonight.
Chaska defense historically really impressive. Josh Weedle, impressive sophomore in the middle linebacker position for the Hawks this year.
Yeah, Weedle's actually working outside. He's somebody that's getting a lot of big-time looks. SEC, Big Ten, he's done a great job of promoting himself. He's somebody I expect to jump out when the playtime comes throughout the course of the season, and obviously we do have a lot of good seniors in there as well that are working.
Minnesota Gophers got a big win last night after they played this rouser. Hawks hoping to do the same thing tonight here, opening up against the Jefferson team that struggled last year but has high hopes coming into this season. We'll be right back with more from Chaska High School. You're watching Hawks football on CHBN.
Twin Cities Orthopedics, we believe that for every challenge, there is an answer. Grit, strength, focus, willpower. That's how we rise. That's how we win. Whatever is standing in front of your goal, we will take it down together. This is your victory. And you've earned it. At TCO, less pain is your gain.
Why is everything at Qdoba so good? Because we grill it, slice it, smash it, spice it, shred it, flip it, squeeze it, dip it, braise it, melt it, and saute it. Pour it, cook it, eat it, ate it. Roll it, cut it, mix it, roast it, press it, dice it, top it, smoke it, build it, salt it, pit it, scoop it, fresh it, toss it, and we do it in-house every day at Qdoba.
driveway, sidewalk, or patio, Jensen Decorative Concrete has hundreds of colors and patterns to choose from. Call Jensen Decorative Concrete now through Wednesday and get free stamping with the purchase of a colored concrete project. 952-210-2692.
Hi, I'm Emily Rome-Welter with Edina Realty, and I'm here at Chaska High School with the varsity football team. I thought you might want to meet the captains. We are missing Ethan Perkins tonight, but let's meet the rest of the captains.
I'm Reese Turner, and I play running back. I'm Leo Smalley, I play right guard and defensive end.
I'm Caleb Rector, and I play left guard and defensive tackle.
I'm Andrew Schaefer, and I play slot and tight end.
Just like the Chaska football team, the Rome real estate team is built on a tradition of excellence and hard work. So I hope you enjoy the games this year. Let's cheer on our Hawks and have a great season. Soar Hawks.
It's Chaska Hawks football, back for another year on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network, brought to you tonight by Twin Cities Orthopedics. Ryan Paul, Mike Schmidt coming to you live from beautiful Chaska Hawks Stadium here in Chaska, Minnesota. Mike, great to have you back for another season of Chaska Hawks football.
You know, it's good to be back, Ryan. I'm really excited, looking forward to everything here. Obviously, coaching the freshman team, this is one of the first, the senior class is one of the first teams I've been able to coach all the way through. So I'm really looking forward to see how they do, how they react to the, first game of the season, coming out with a lot of new starters.
It was 80 degrees just a few minutes ago. A breeze has rolled in. Feels a little chillier than that, but a beautiful early September evening here. Jefferson brings out the all-white uniforms with gray helmets. Chaska donning the purple uniforms, gray or white numbering. Myler back to receive for Chaska.
Yep, it's Myler and Harmson back there. Harmson, the starting cornerback for the Hawks, and Myler starting safety. Two good skill position guys with elite speed. Hopefully the Hawks can get a good return here.
We're underway, 2022 football season under the lights here from Chaska High School. The kickoff rolls deep into the 5-yard line of Chaska's defending end zone. Austin Harmson returns it out to about the 8-yard line, where he's corralled by a swarm of Jefferson defenders, and Chaska will start deep in their own territory.
Kind of a tough start here for the Hawks. You got to catch the opening kickoff. It's a big yardage difference. Now they're buried all the way back at their 8-yard line. It'll be interesting to see how this new look, well, I suppose the offense is the same look, just a lot of new names, reacts to this situation.
Brian Dahl in his 9th year at the helm for Chaska. His 11th year with the team, spent a couple years as a defensive coordinator when he came over. Jamie Susner back manning the offense here for Chaska after he came over from Benilde more than a couple years ago now.
I think that was about 4 or 5 years ago now, Ryan.
Jamarius Courtney, the 6'2 senior, hands off to Reese Turner to open things up for Chaska. A solid gain of about 6. Turner expected to have a big year, as we alluded to in the pregame, Mike.
Yep, Turner up the middle for 6 or 7. Expect to hear that nonstop all night. Like I said, he's going to be kind of their de facto Jack Boyle from last year. I'd anticipate maybe 25 carries for Reese, and he's definitely up to the task.
Turner clocks in at 200 pounds, 6 feet as a senior. See him in the backfield wearing number 5 for Chaska, in line with Courtney. 2nd and 3. Option dive to Turner. Got the first down and a couple extra on the push from his offensive line. Fresh set of downs for Chaska coming up here up to the 22-yard line. Yep. And an emphatic first down call from Greg Erickson for the first time.
There we go. It's good to hear Greg again. That's how you know it's football season. Good 15 yards on the first 2 plays. Turner up the middle twice. Nice push there by Leo Smalley and Caleb Rector up the middle, the 2 senior veteran captain guards.
Good experience in that Chaska core up front. Leo Smalley saw a lot of time last year. Captain this year in his senior campaign.
If Smalley's actually heading to Duluth next year to play football.
Schaefer in motion at the tight end spot. Wobbly snap, handoff off to Turner. Turner's loose, up to the 40, and he's finally dragged down by Robert Traylor for Bloomington Jefferson at the 42-yard line, but quality gain for the Hawks, and they're moving the football downfield.
Yep, Turner already up to 35 yards here on the day. He is going to be the workhorse, and he's definitely up to the task. You mentioned his measurables earlier, 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's every bit of 200 pounds, 6 foot. I'm not quite sure about that. I see him at practice on a day-to-day basis. He's probably right around 5'9", but he carries the weight extremely well.
Got that helmet on, you give him a couple extra inches.
Yeah, program stats.
Once again, a fresh set of downs for Chaska after Turner moves the chains. He gets it again here on first down. Gain of a couple. Wrangled up there. Nice tackle made by Nicholas Donnelly for Jefferson.
Yep, little counter look there. Caleb Rector leading the way. Wasn't able to find anybody to hit, and Reese's feet got wrapped up. But you know what? At any time you're getting 5 yards on a little bit of a broken play, it's not a bad thing, Ryan.
Good crowd here on opening night. The breeze has picked up a little bit. Students filling up their allotted section and then some. A lot of purple in the stands here on the west side of Chaska Stadium. Jefferson fans still filing in. Good showing from the visiting students, though. 9:30 to go here in the first quarter of football. Courtney keeps it this time. He breaks through the first zone and up to the 40-yard line of Jefferson. Chains move once again. Courtney's first big gainer of the season. Chaska gets yet another set of downs.
Yep, Courtney definitely a new face, transferred in from Benilde last year. He's getting some pretty big looks as far as colleges go. I know NDSU is taking a peek at him. Him and Turner are going to be our 1-2 punch. I'd expect to use Atterbury a little bit on the outside, but we know this coaching staff, they like to keep the ball on the ground.
Courtney put up some impressive numbers last year as a junior at Benilde. 8 touchdowns throwing. He stands in the shotgun here, receives the snap. Turner once again, handoff up the right side, breaks through the first line, up to the 32 where he's finally brought down. Going to be close to yet another first down. Initial indication is he's short, and I think we're going to go with that. It'll be 2nd and short.
Yep, 9.5 more from Turner there, 2nd and short as you mentioned. Jefferson's definitely going to have to switch something up here. Chaska's just pounding the ball right down the middle of the field. Haven't seen anything too cute, which is kind of expected out of this coaching staff, as I mentioned, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Ryan.
See an impressive senior class here on offense for Chaska, especially on the front line, or the backfield rather. 8:14 to go here, first quarter. Courtney keeps this time once again. Breaks a tackle up to about the 20. Impressive stuff from Jamarius Courtney here early, breaking through a couple tackles.
Yeah, he kind of brings a little bit of a different element than we're used to seeing. Braden Sanders was a very good runner in his own right, but he was probably a little bit more elevated as a passer than Jamarius Courtney. Courtney, they're going to stick with that true option look. It's almost like a modified veer, and Jamarius Courtney is definitely dangerous with the ball in his hands.
2 split wide for the Hawks. Wicker and Atterbury. Turner in the backfield again. Handoff, Turner, he's got an opening. Spin move at the 10, and he's up inside the red zone for Chaska. Hawks moving the ball with ease here early. Less than halfway through this first quarter, scoring opportunity here inside the 10 after Turner gets him in.
Yeah, this looks very, very similar to last year. Just didn't, new year, new name, same thing so far for the Hawks. Lots of running up the middle, using their big guys up front to move the ball, and they've been successful.
Turner's the top returning rusher. He was third on the team last year. Saw 38 carries, just over 150 yards and a score a year ago. He gets it again here on first down. Going to be close to the goal line, and they'll say he's just a knee shy.
Yeah, it looked like he might have rolled over a body into the end zone there, but the refs didn't give us a call, so we're down to the 1. Not a bad situation here for the Hawks. Turner setting the tone just as we expected.
Ball on the 1 for Chaska here. We'll see what Jamie Susner draws up to try and punch it in.
A lot of hands on hips already for Jefferson, and anytime it's early on in the season and the weather's this unseasonably warm, you're going to get cramping and stuff, so that's something to keep an eye on as well in this opening night.
6:47 to go. Hawks looking to put the first points on the board. Turner into the end zone with ease, and the Hawks score first. Reese Turner, an impressive first drive, and he caps it off with 6 points.
Statement drive for the Hawks. I think it was 8 plays, 8 rushes. Every one of them up the middle. Reese Turner doing his job, taking care of business, and Chaska gets the 6-0 lead early.
Really, really good-looking stuff from Chaska on the first drive, but you're right, Jefferson did even look gassed there towards the end of the possession. Junior-heavy defense for the Jaguars, and Chaska exposed it there.
Yep, Nevin Krause on to kick.
PAT is good for Chaska. The Hawks go up 7-0 here early on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. We'll step aside momentarily, give a shout out to our sponsors, and be right back. Chaska opens up the game with an impressive first possession. Reese Turner 60 yards and change rushing and gets the points on the board for the Hawks. They score with 6:42 to go in the first quarter.
Yep, we had 8 or 9 plays there, like I mentioned. Every single one of them run up the middle. We mentioned it pregame. Reese Turner is going to be essentially the guy for this team. He's a senior. He's a captain. He's been in the program. And he's definitely got the goods when it comes to carrying the rock.
Chaska will kick. Jefferson will get the ball for the first time tonight. Kick is deep, quality boot, and the ball rolls into the end zone after being touched out. And this is going to be ruled a touchback. High school football rule there. Ball goes into the end zone. It is an instant touchback. And the Jaguars of Jefferson get a bit of a break there, Mike. Ball will come out to the 20.
Yeah, I think that was Patrick Simmons back there trying to return the kick, and he might have been saved because senior middle linebacker Ethan Perkins was going to go headhunting there in that situation.
Jefferson first time out for the offense. Tyson Schultz, 6'4" junior, check that. Takes the reins for the Jaguars on possession number 1. In motion is Clark. Clark comes across. Jefferson going to throw on their first play. Catch is made by Freitag. Mike, Freitag's going to be a big name we're going to hear tonight. Clark to Freitag, and it's a first down gain of 20 right off the bat.
Yeah, for as conservative as Chaska is on offense, with just being okay with running the ball down the middle, Jefferson's definitely going to have to open this up. They know they don't have the heavies up front to compete with this Hawks defense, so I'd expect them to stretch it out. Freitag was at the game at the U of M last night at the game. He does have an offer to play basketball and football for the U of M, so he's someone to keep an eye on.
Definitely a talented athlete there. Split out wide for Jefferson. They'll hand the ball off for the first time tonight. That's Nicholas Nasende, the junior, 5'8", 155. He's stuffed at the line, maybe gained 1.
Yep, Naya Sende, a little bit undersized, but he's definitely shifty. I expect them to try to get him outside and operate in space. But, yeah, expect the Jaguars to open everything up here.
Just under 6 to go here, first quarter. Chaska and Jefferson opening things up here on an early September evening. Looking to throw is Schultz. He finds an option on the far side. Ball's loose. Chaska thinks they have it. I think they do. At the 45, the ball popped out, and the Hawks have it. Jefferson turns it over on the first possession.
Yep, quick 5-yard hitch there to Freitag. He's going to be shadowed most of the night by Austin Harmson, who had the opening return. Harmson did a good job there of putting a hand on the ball, punching it out, and the Hawks are back in business.
Freitag, who's touted for his athletic abilities, fumbled it up there, coughed it right at about the 48-yard line. Nice play made by Harmson and the Chaska Hawks. Once again inside the Jefferson territory with the chance to score.
Yep, I'd expect the Hawks to go right back to what worked for them on the first drive. I don't think that they're going to throw the ball until they're forced to.
If it isn't broke, don't fix it. And obviously that first possession, nothing was broke for the well-oiled Chaska offense. After a shorter than anticipated break, Jamarius Courtney's back out there. Turner in the backfield. Schaefer in motion. Option, Schaefer gets the pitch. He's up to the 40, and he's upended there. Nice carry for Schaefer for the first time this season.
Yep, Schaefer's going to be our Swiss Army knife on offense. He's technically listed as a tight end, but he will carry the ball quite a bit. They like to use him in multiple different spots. Parker LeVar's out this year with an injury. He was a returning senior that was looking forward to having a big year, and Schaefer's kind of filling those shoes.
5:17 to go here, 2nd and 4, following the Schaefer toss and carry. Hawks go 4 wide here, 1 in the backfield with Courtney. Courtney looking to pass. Hawks go 4 deep. Has an option downfield, and it's caught in the end zone. Atterbury hauls it in, and it's a 40-yard touchdown for Chaska. Hawks are up 13-0 early. What a play by the Hawks.
Yep, I talked a little bit with Carson Atterbury before the game. He's the kind of guy that can open everything up for the Hawks, kind of like Nick Snuggerud did a couple of years ago. He's got that ability to just make plays. And he went out there and made one for the Hawks as they elected to go up over the top for the first time. Great ball by Jamarius there as well.
Not often you see Chaska run 4 vertical, but they did it here. 40-yard bomb from Courtney right at the goal line, hauled in beautifully by Atterbury. Krause in for the point after to cap off this Chaska drive. It's up and looks good. Hawks are up 14. Donut here with 4:52 to go. We'll be right back with more from Chaska High School. A 40-yard dime courtesy of Jamarius Courtney right into the breadbasket of Carson Atterbury puts the Hawks up 14-0. The Freitag fumble set it up. Beautiful defensive play by Austin Harmson. And here we are, Mike. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and Chaska's up 14-0.
Fairy tale start for the Hawks so far. I mean, getting up 14-0, dominating the time of possession in the turnover battle so far. Speaking with Atterbury, like I mentioned after he scored the touchdown, he sees himself getting a lot of opportunities to make big plays this year. And the boot is deep.
Meyer kicks it inside the Jefferson 5. Hauled in. Returner runs into his own man there, and Chaska swarms him at the 20. Effective return from Jefferson will set him up about normally, and see what Jefferson draws up here. Tim Carlson, head coach for the Jags, got to be disappointed what he saw in that first possession, at least the way it ended. A couple promising plays, but you can't turn the ball over inside your own territory.
The only way this Jaguars team is going to be able to find success is going to be on the outside. It's going to be probably via the air, just with the speed and size that this Hawks team has. So they're probably going to go right back to that. I mean, you can't shy away from something just because you have a turnover early.
Shotgun formation for Schultz. He hands it off. Jonathan Weber. Ball came loose. Whistle blew, though. Chaska thinks they have yet another fumble recovery, but referee's quick to rule Weber down. Much to the disliking of the Chaska students, in which the play occurred directly in front of.
Yep, Josh Wadle there making that play, number 36, the sophomore. As we mentioned pregame, he's getting a lot of big-time looks. 6'5", 220. He's probably going to be about 6'6", 240 by the end of the season with how he's growing, and he's showing out early.
15 to snap. Schultz drops back, looking over the middle once again, hauled in right there by Cormac Radford. First down and more for Jefferson through the air. Cormac Radford catches inside the hash marks, and Jefferson's been successful through the air over the middle so far.
Yep,
tonight.
and they're gonna go hurry up here, try to get this Chaska Hawks defense a little gassed. That's where you are vulnerable when you run this modified 3-5 front that the Hawks do run, is up the middle in the seam.
30 seconds to snap, and Jefferson got it off. Handoff up the middle to Weber, maybe a yard, but he was brought down on the play by Carl Gullens, Chaska Jr.
Yeah, this Hawks defense has been the exact same for I don't even know how many years. Coach Mark Young, former head coach, is the outside linebackers coach. He typically gets his pick of the best athletes on the team, and they let him go to work and mold these young guys.
Got a lot of experience in that Chaska backfield. Here's a wobbly pass. Jefferson's Schultz was hit as he threw. Ball fell short and out of bounds. Chaska had a double team on free tag over there. Lucky that one didn't get picked off.
Yeah, big-time blitz there by Ethan Perkins. Ethan Perkins, the emotional and vocal leader of this defense. Expect to hear his name called a lot. He's going to be calling the plays for the Hawks here on the defense. Got in on a big rush and laid the lumber to the quarterback, Schultz, there.
Harmsen and Myler in coverage for Chaska on the far side. Here we have a 3rd and 8 for the Jefferson Jaguars. They go wide split again. Schultz drops back, pressured, and throws it away. Lucky that one didn't get picked off either. There's your guy, Josh Wadle, lighting up Schultz in the backfield.
Yeah, Schultz is going to be in for a long night if they don't give him a little bit more max protection here. Wadle laid the lumber there. Perkins got him last play, I should say.
Wadle,
it looks like we're going to see a wholesale change here for the Jags.
Wadle just looks like a football player here. You'll see unblocked completely off that left side. Got to Schultz with ease, and
he was one of the better players I've coached at the 9th grade level in my 8 years of coaching. So expect big things out of him in the years to come.
That's impressive considering some of the athletes that have come through here, Mike, in the last 9 years. 3 and change to go here.
When you lose yardage quickly.
Chaska will trot out the offense for the 3rd time tonight. They've been successful on 2 other possessions. Touchdowns from Atterbury as well as Turner tonight. 1 through the air, 1 on the ground. Chaska will have 1 split out near side and Wicker. Atterbury will split far side. Good hole there for Turner to find, and he gets up to the 20-yard line. Chaska offensive line been impressive so far tonight, Mike, creating some quality holes for Turner to get through.
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned, Rector and Smalley up the middle, both guards. Chaska loves to use counters and pull their guards and let them lead, and those 2 guys are 2 of probably the best in the conference. We do have 2 starting sophomores on the offensive line. That's Morgan Engman, who was a running back at the freshman level last year, and Prentice Derrick. Those guys are going to be big, crucial parts of this game.
Handoff again, opposite side. Counter for Chaska. Turner gets up to the sticks. They'll say he gained the line, and it'll move the chains for Chaska once again.
Yep, 5 yards in a cloud of dust. The coaching staff will be happy with that all night. Turner again.
Harvey checks out for Chaska. Derek Hansen comes in. Derek Hansen got the start at wide receiver tonight as a junior. Good to see another Hansen out there in purple for Chaska.
And Freitag now off the field here for the Jaguars, getting a breath.
Under 2 in the first quarter. 1st and 10 for Courtney and the Hawks. Atterbury in motion. Wonky snap. Courtney forced to keep it up the gut, and he's stuffed by a couple of Big man up front for Jefferson. Looked like a little bit of a timing issue there in the backfield for Chaska.
Yeah, that was definitely going to be a jet sweep to the wide side. This coaching staff will look to get Atterbury the ball in his hands because he is very slippery in the open field. Timing aspect was a little off there, a little bit of a high snap. Jamarius did the smart thing there, just tucking the ball away, getting upfield, gaining a yard.
Aiden Ince at center. He's a junior for Chaska. New name on that front five for the Hawks. That operation, Mike, they always talk about it. Center to quarterback exchange is a big deal. We'll see how that progresses throughout the night here. Courtney drops back, looking deep over the middle once again. Lobs it up wide open over the middle. Is Wicker just out of the reach? He had nothing but green ahead of him. Well thrown ball, just a bit over the fingertips. Really, really well drawn up play there. Jefferson had nobody in 10 yards of Isaac Wicker.
Yeah, that was a nice little seam route there by Wicker on the outside. It looks like the safeties are arguing with each other for the Jaguars right now, trying to figure out who's blown coverage that was. Big missed opportunity there for the Hawks as that one slipped just through Wicker's fingers.
Ethan Kim at corner was protecting the sideline, let him go right over the top. Daniel Free checked that. It was actually Malachi Sorensen at safety. Somebody missed an opportunity there, and Chaska missed a bigger one. Courtney rolling out left side. Escapes some pressure. He's going to keep it. Here goes Courtney up to midfield. Courtney gain and a first down for Chaska. Jamarius Courtney making something out of nothing there. A blown play in the backfield, and he uses his legs to gain 20 for the Hawks. 20 plus.
Yep, that's a fresh element here for this Hawks offense is being able to roll out Courtney and just let him use his legs. He didn't see anything downfield. Made the smart decision to tuck it. The offensive line was along with them, and they were able to gain 34 yards on that one.
Courtney transferred in from Benilde St. Margaret's. Mike, you said he was at Cooper the year before that. Had over 2,000 all-purpose yards last year in red and white for Benilde.
Yeah, the athletic skill, that's definitely there for Jamarius. It's just his ability to walk into a program and pick up the offense with only 1 year experience or with less than a year experience. That's going to be the crucial thing for the Hawks as they take on bigger and better opponents down there as we approach this year.
Time for one more play here in the first quarter, but Chaska will elect to take a timeout. Gives us a chance to thank our sponsors here tonight on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. We'd like to give a big shout out to Ryan DeSalt and the team at Five Guys, located at Flying Cloud Drive and Eden Prairie Drive. In Eden Prairie, Five Guys provides their great handcrafted burgers and fries to help feed our players during the season, and I know the guys really love that. Next time you're hungry, stop into Five Guys in Eden Prairie. Unrestricted Marketing, the Hawks would like to give a big thank you to them for their continued support. Unrestricted is a creative marketing fulfillment warehouse that will bring marketing minds and creative leaders together to create breakthrough campaigns for great companies, brands, and people. Visit www.unrestrictedmktg.com to see how they can help you. Caliber Collision is located at 1324 Crystal Lane in Chaska, and we'd like to thank them for their support of Hawks football. With 32 locations in the metro area, Caliber Collision is there to handle any of your collision repair needs. Visit calibercollision.com for a full menu of services and locations. Floyd's Bar and Grill, the home of the best live music and live patio music and dining, is proud to support the 2022 Chaska Hawks football team. Stop in for a cool drink or delicious meal. Stop in 5 days a week in downtown Victoria. That's Floyd's. An annual hotspot for Hawks football fans, Heartbreakers Bar and Grill has outstanding burgers and pizza, and they have great drink specials as well. Heartbreakers is located in the Chaska Commons, so get off the couch and stop by after the game to enjoy some delicious food and beverages on the patio under those brand new fire pits and heaters. Chaska on the last play of the first quarter hands it off. That's a nice carry there by number 23.
That was 32.
Check that, 32.
Yep, Xavier Harvu.
Harvu on the ball for Chaska, and that should just about do it in the first quarter. Sorry. Harvu with his first touch of the night up into Chaska Jefferson territory at the 35-yard line, and that'll do it for the first quarter of play here. Chaska 2 touchdowns early, working their way down the field now on their latest possession. That's 1 quarter of play, Mike. Obviously a lot of positives to take away there for the Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, picture perfect start. They were able to establish their run early. They opened it up with a passing game with the touchdown to Atterbury. The defense caused a turnover and got another quick stop. Everything's going right for the Hawks so far, and I love to see it. I mean, football season's back, Ryan. What more could you ask for?
That's right, Mike. We're back in the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Thanks for tuning in. Like to thank all of our sponsors here tonight. Like to thank the Chaska Hawks Touchdown Club for supporting tonight's broadcast. I'd like to thank Brett Johnson and his crew for coming out and helping us tonight. And we'll step aside here real quick, Brett. Come right back on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Second quarter of action just about to get underway here from Chaska High School. Ryan Paul, Mike Schmid with you here. Watch CHBN.com. Free to watch, free to subscribe. Hawks football. Here's Turner opening things up in the second frame of 12. And the Hawks now working right to left across your screen are back in scoring position inside the 30.
Yeah, I'd say Turner's probably right around 80 yards, maybe a little bit above that. Turner's dad, Greg Turner, is a part of our freshman coaching staff. He's down on the sidelines tonight. He actually played a little bit of college ball at Illinois. He's a wide receiver there. Carson Turner, Reese's little brother, is a quarterback on our freshman team as well. So that's a name that is going to be familiar with Hawks fans for a while.
Just underway, second quarter. If you're just tuning in, Hawks opened up the game first two possessions with touchdowns. Recovered a fumble, which led to the 40-yard Atterbury catch and score. Here's Reese Turner, who's been an impressive name tonight so far for the Hawks. He's probably approaching 100 yards. There were some extracurriculars after the run behind the play. We'll see who gets flagged here. Bodies were on the ground, and Laundry did come in. Our first penalty of the night here from this Minnesota State High School League officiating crew, and Chaska's backing up. So it looks like it's going to be a penalty against the Hawks.
Might have been on Leo Smalley there. I think he got a little reachy watching that little counter draw. He was pulling from the right guard position. So, yep, the Hawks are going to have to back up.
Second down and 13.
Makes it second and 13 after the penalty.
42-yard line.
Really impressive start by our two sophomore tackles here so far, Ryan. They've absolutely dominated the line of scrimmage. Obviously, it makes it easy when Leo Smalley and Caleb Rector are in there with you. But those two have done a very good job.
Leo Smalley clocking in 6'3", 260. Caleb Rector, even a more impressive 6'3", 285. So got some beef up there. A lot of talent for Chaska in the middle. Whistles coming in from the near sideline. Coach Dahl needed a timeout. Play clock was running short. Looks like he was thinking the play clock maybe should have been reset. We'll see. There's a conversation here. 25 on it now. It was coming down to 0, and Coach Dahl,
I think he's got a good argument here with the penalty being called. Walking the ball back, I don't think that they reset the clock.
Well, they're gonna force Chaska to take a timeout here. So Chaska takes their second timeout of the first half here early in the first quarter. Brian Dahl not winning the play clock argument. Want to say thank you to Chaska Laundry Center, where a fresh, clean environment greets you as you walk in every time. The friendly attendants are there to assist you with all your laundry needs. For those of you that are busy, Chaska Laundry Center offers free pickup and delivery for all your dry cleaning needs. Check out www.chaskalaundry.com for more details. Team at Patriot Exterior Solutions are skilled holiday lighting technicians who handle jobs both big and small. They've worked on a multitude of holiday lighting jobs, from single-family homes to large complexes and business communities. You can trust them with your full-service holiday lighting this year. Back here, Mike, 11:13 to go coming out of the Chaska timeout. They've used 2 so far. Hopefully those won't come back to haunt them. Obviously first half not as important as the end of the game scenario, but something to work on for Brian Dahl and company going into week 2.
Yeah, hopefully this won't matter in this one, but it's definitely something they're going to take a look at, something to clean up in an early situation. With the Hawks being second and long, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Atterbury on an end around here to the wide side.
Second and long coming off of that Chaska 10-yard penalty. Handoff up the middle. Jefferson snuffed it out well in there on the tackle. Nice play made by Matthew Jonas, the 6'1 junior. Turner didn't get far, maybe a yard, but it'll bring up 4th down for the first time tonight for Chaska.
Yep, first 2 mishaps by the Hawks here so far tonight. It was just kind of a bad read there by Jamarius. He started tapping his chest as soon as he saw the play happen. He could have pulled that. He had Schaefer on an ender or on like with him for the pitch there. Would have liked to see him use his eyes, execute that a little better.
Daniel King also involved in the tackle. We have a stoppage here. Looks like Jefferson called a timeout. I was mistaken in saying it was 4th down. It is 3rd and 14 for Chaska. And Jefferson in a 3rd and long situation on defense. Not the time you want to take a timeout. So some untimely timeouts called here. First game jitters maybe for the coaches, for the captains out there. But gives us more time to thank Twin Cities Orthopedics, trusted by some of the biggest names in sports. And they bring that same level of care to athletes of all ages in our community. No injury is too small. Walk into any of TCO's 8 orthopedic urgent care locations, open 8 to 8, 7 days a week, including a new location in Waconia. Visit tcomn.com to learn more. TCO is proud to support the Hawks football. Sorhawks. Rome Team, longtime CHBN sponsors, have helped thousands of families expertly transition into a new home. Emily and Jan are known for their service, integrity, and results, and they partner with clients to prepare and price and sell their homes. Whether you're buying or selling a home, put the Rome Team to work for you. Go to www.rometeamrealestate.com to learn more. 10:41, slow going here, early second quarter. Mike, thanks for tuning in. If you just joined us once again on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network, located at www.watchchbn.com. Ryan, Paul, and Mike Schmid with you here high above Chaska Stadium. Sun starting to set behind us to the west. And it's a 3rd and long for Jamarius Courtney and company. Handoff to Turner. Turner spins up across the 35. Gets up, and he's going to be close, but 2-3 yards short. Good gain on 3rd down and gives Brian Dahl and Jamie Susner something to think about here on 4th.
Yeah, that spot of the field, Chaska's really got the good luxury of being able to run the ball and run it effectively. We don't have the kicker that we had a couple of years ago. Nevin Krause does a great job with our extra points, but we're not going to get a lot of 45, 50 yards attempts with him, specifically with the wind blowing the way it is tonight. So it was a good job to get into a manageable situation for the Hawks.
Definitely has gotten gusty here, and oh no, Jefferson's calling another timeout on 4th and short. Man, Jefferson has had to call timeouts on back-to-back plays, 3rd down and long, and now 4th and 3. Didn't have the right personnel out there.
Yeah, the coaching staff in this situation for Jefferson is just trying to stop the bleeding. So at this point, yes, it does kind of hurt to give up those timeouts. But the reality is if you don't right the ship now, it might be too late later on where those timeouts won't even matter.
Something to work on, obviously, for everybody as we go. We're not even halfway through the first week of football here, but obviously everybody's going to have things to work on after the first game. And something for Jefferson will be personnel management, time management, how we get the guys in the field. Chaska obviously going to take some things away here, obviously. Going to have a lot of time to look at things before they head to Chanhassen next week. You want to be polished for that District 112 battle.
Yeah, it's something that's almost impossible to replicate in practice. As much as you do it, the in-game stuff, the communication, the need for perfection on a play-by-play basis is something that's extremely difficult to coach, specifically with the chaos of first game for a lot of these young players. I mean, I know that we have a senior-heavy team, but the reality is last year we had 15, 16 seniors that were starting, and they're all gone now. So this is the first big effort for a lot of these young guys.
We discussed it in our pregame. Chaska, like you said, had 16, I think, seniors starting last year, 15 this year. Now that's a good thing. You've got age up starting in your game, but these 15 seniors didn't see starting action last year, obviously. So most of them seeing starting action for the first time, especially the juniors and sophomores. Tripped up short of the line to gain is Reese Turner, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Jefferson, a big moment there. Lots of energy on that sideline for the Jags.
Yeah, that's where that timeout kind of matters. You know, you mentioned it might come back to haunt him long term, but the fact is if they don't get that stop, Chaska might be up 21-0 before they even blinked. So it was a good job by the Jaguars coaching staff there to make that call, and now they have an opportunity to try to cut into this Hawks lead.
Chaska was a 75% team on fourth down last year. They failed to convert their first one here in 2022. Jefferson spreads it wide again. Seen that a lot so far tonight from the Jags. Schultz back in the shotgun, hands off here to Nasende. Nasende breaks outside the numbers, but it's going to be a tackle for loss by the Hawks. Over there involved for Chaska, number 45, Ethan Perkins, a senior.
Yeah, Perkins is there, obviously, and Noah Ellis on the outside, the other starting cornerback opposite Harmson, getting his first major play action here. Good job there by Perk. Perk played wide receiver as a freshman. He moved to offensive line as a sophomore. He's kind of bounced around, and now he's found a home at middle linebacker.
9:32 and running here, second quarter from the Hawks' nest. Shotgun snap, quick release as he was hit. Schultz finds an option over the middle, hauled in there on the wide side by number 17, Dan King. The 6'4 junior had 5 receptions for 41 and a touchdown last year, has a big reception and moves the chains for Jefferson on this one.
Yep, our defense loves to stick in a cover two. That's where you're vulnerable, is those quick seam routes, just finding the gap in the hole and hitting a quick pass.
Jefferson still looking for their first points. They're moving the ball here. Option play, ball still up in the air. Nice effort by Austin Harmson. He was being blocked downfield. Tried to hash that block and catch that tipped pass. Option, or the pass was being looked for Cormac Radford, but slipped out of the hand of Schultz and batted in the air.
Yeah, it was batted in the air, then it hit off Myler's helmet. Gave Harmson an opportunity, but as you mentioned, he was kind of locked up in a battle there as they tried to hit a quick bubble screen on the Hawks to get the ball outside.
It was actually Radford who was blocking up Harmson. Maxwell Clark was the intended receiver coming out of the backfield. Jefferson going to run things over the middle in the air, almost hauled in by Freitag. Actually a pretty well put ball, just a bit high by Schultz, but Freitag was open. And just inside the hash marks, he comes up a little gimpy inside.
Yeah, that's where it's a little dangerous for the Hawks. Anytime they see trips wide receivers, they will always go into a cover three, which means the outside corners will have a deep third. And the deep safety, who was in this situation, was Taylor Susner, will have a deep third. So the seam route is how you defend or attack that defense.
Miles Myler got tripped up on the last play, allowed Freitag to go over the middle. This one also same play, looking for Freitag through the middle, and it was over the head of Freitag. Schultz has shown he has a pretty good arm, actually. He's got some power behind it. He's just got to get in the hands of his receivers.
Yeah, he's got big-time size. He's got athletes on the outside, and they're doing the right things in how they're approaching their attack of this Chaska defense. But Josh Wadle was right there in his kitchen on that pass as well.
Jags lists 3 wide receivers over 6 foot as starters. Actually, 4 wide receivers is 6 foot as starters. 6'4", 6'4", 6'3", and 6'1". 9 to go. Crowd gets loud. It's a pooch punt, but it's low. It's going to end up working out fine for Jefferson, though. That ball got no idea how it got through. Oh, it gets tapped into the end zone. No idea how that got through that pile of humanity at midfield, but luckily for Chaska, it rolls into the end zone.
I'm sure we've got a lot of golfers out here. I know you're working out at Hazeltine. That's what we call in the business a good miss. You know, you don't put a good swing on it, but it ends up being okay. Fortunately, though, for the Hawks, it rolled all the way down to the end zone.
It's something we actually see a lot more of now in the high school game. You'll see it in some college games as well, that little pooch punt where the quarterback will stand maybe in a deep shotgun and Jefferson will spread them out wide, or whoever will spread them out wide, and they'll boot it. So,
yeah, it's just one more thing to scout.
Right.
You know, and oftentimes you don't have time to put anything in for that. You maybe just throw a safety deep and tell them not to screw up. And Chaska got lucky on that one.
8:50 to go here from Chaska High School. Ryan and Mike back with you for year 4 of Hawks coverage. Hawks football coverage, that is. We've done some more elsewhere. Handoff. Nope, it's an option. And Courtney will keep it. Courtney dragged down on the play by Jefferson's number 11. That's Robert Traylor.
Yeah, 6'2", over 200 pounds, falling forward for 5-6 yards. That's just, I mean, that's the element we haven't had. You know, like I said, Braden Sanders was a great quarterback, great game manager, very good passer in his own right, but he didn't have this similar size that Jamarius brings to this Hawks team.
2nd and 5 for the purple. Schaefer in motion once again, going to go behind the tailback, and it's an option for Schaefer. Good read by Courtney. Schaefer breaks through the first line, runs right into his blocker, but it's a quality gain and a first down for Chaska. That was a nice-looking option play for the Hawks.
Yeah, Schaefer's essentially their backup running back in many ways. He's a big, versatile athlete, kind of the Swiss Army knife, as I had mentioned earlier. They'll utilize him blocking. They'll utilize him as the pitch man and the option, and he might even get some straight carries up the middle if we're in a goal line situation.
Fresh set of downs for Chaska. Under 8 to go here in the first half. Hawks split 4 wide, 1 in the backfield. Schaefer in motion once again. Courtney's going to keep it this time, shoot up the hash. Gain of 10, 11, and a first down for Chaska once again. Boy, Jamarius Courtney's been effective on that option read.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 3 legitimate running options, it really does open everything up for this offense. Jamarius has done a great job of making decisions, trusting his eyes, making quick, effective reads. And that's going to open things up for Schaefer. It's going to open things up for Turner, and it's definitely going to make the safeties respect that run because they're going to have to come downhill, which opens up the stuff that we saw earlier with Atterbury.
Definitely gives you a lot to think about, like you were saying. You have Schaefer, who just had a nice 10, 15-yard option carry. Obviously, we've seen what Courtney can do. Turner, we've talked about more than enough. And then you throw the ball, like you said, and we'll see what Chaska does here as Schaefer, check that, it's Atterbury who comes in motion. Hand off to Turner across the Hawk at midfield, and he's into Jefferson territory after a gain of 4.
Yep, 4 yards in a cloud of dust there for Turner. I mean, Chaska's offense, realistically, we could be up 21-0 very simply. We barely missed that seam route by Wicker in the last drive. So Chaska's doing a great job of mixing everything up so far with the play calling.
6.5 left running here in the first half. Nice crowd has started to gather here as the sun sets in Chaska. Hawks will look to pass. Courtney, quick release on the far sideline, hauled in by Wicker, and it's out to the 30-yard line, and a gain of 20 for Chaska. That'll move the sticks and a first down.
Yeah, Wicker's somebody who didn't see a ton of time last year, but he did a great job there of recognizing the defense, realizing they were in a cover 2, sitting down within that open spot in the zone just past the 40-yard line around the 35 instead of trying to extend the route to where the safety would meet him. And a nice job of Jamarius delivering a good time ball.
Aiden Fontaine in motion for the first time tonight. Courtney keeps here, breaks the first tackle with ease. He's finally wrangled up at the 20-yard line by a couple of Jaguars, including Frank Arth. But Courtney, once again, a nice read and a keeper. And he's going to move the sticks once again for Chaska.
Chaska's opened things up a little bit in this drive. We haven't seen a ton of Turner so far. I think he's got 1 or 2 carries. Jamarius might have passed him up in yards here, both of them right around the 90-yard marker at this point.
You come in with some question marks on a night like tonight. You know, you have a new-look offense, guys who haven't seen a lot of playing time together, and Courtney who just transferred in. But I think they've showed a lot of promise here tonight, especially Jamarius Courtney with his option reads.
Yeah, and it all starts up front. They've done a great job there.
Well said. There you go. Great hole for Reese Turner to break through. He scampers up across the 10 inside Chaska's scoring area, and it'll be another first down. First and goal from the 7 for the Hawks.
Yeah, Jack Boyle was last year's sledgehammer. This year it's Reese Turner. They both have extremely similar running styles and profiles. They're a little bit shorter, both built extremely well, especially for high school seniors. They lack a little bit of the high-end speed, but they get the job done.
Chaska will bunch it up here. High snap, handled well by Courtney. Spinning is Turner. He's going to get up to the goal line and fall just shy of the end zone. Nice moves by Turner to shift around a couple defenders there and fall near the end zone.
Reese is special after contact. The first guy is rarely going to get him. That's why he hardly ever loses any yards. He does a great job of spinning off of tackles. It's something that the coaching staff's actually trying to coach him out of a little bit, just because sometimes he gets a little overzealous.
1 to go for the score. Courtney keeps. He's going to look for the goal line and gain it. Jamarius Courtney, first touchdown and purple for the Hawks. And the Chaska Hawks go up 21-0 on opening night, or 20-0 on opening night.
Yep, the J Mafia is going crazy on Twitter and Instagram right now, which is Jamarius' fan group. A lot of the Chaska Hawks high school students following him on all various social media platforms, but a good job there by the Hawks to extend this lead.
Shoulder bump with Andrew Schaefer after the score. In to kick is Krause for the third time tonight. 2 for 2 so far. Third one is just as good, and now it's 21-0 for Chaska. 4:26 to go in the first half. Mike, all forms moving for Chaska tonight.
Yeah, they're hitting on all cylinders. The passing game's working right now. The running game has been immaculate. The offensive line is absolutely taking care of business. If we can get this kind of look from this team all year round, we're going to be extremely difficult to beat, specifically with the dual threat quarterback in Jamarius.
We'll be back in just a couple seconds here on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. You're watching Hawks football. So Chaska coming in hot to open up the season here tonight. Chaska was 9-1 last year. They rattled off 9 in a row to open up the season and got blown out by Mankato West in the section championship. Mankato ended up making a quality state tournament run, if you want to say that. But Mike, Chaska's going to see some better competition next week. Chanhassen hosts the District 112 border battle a week from tonight.
Yeah, that one's going to be an absolute war. I mean, Chanhassen brings back a lot of talent, including Graham Muffenbauer, their quarterback, so that one should be explosive.
Meyer boots for Chaska out to the 15. Upending the returner is Andrew Schaefer right around the 24-yard line. Nice coverage play there from the Chaska captain, senior captain.
Yeah, Schaefer, as good as he is at football, he might be even better kid. He's just one of those guys that I've enjoyed coaching, being around for the last 4 years. His family's fantastic, big-time pillars in the Chaska community. So it's good to see him get to, come out and show out on his first game on his senior year.
It'd be remiss not to mention Tony and Michelle Schaefer, presidents of the Chaska Touchdown Club, been big supporters of the Hawks Broadcast Network here, getting these games on your screens. Do a lot of work behind the scenes for Chaska Hawks football. Jaguars hustling out a late entrant to the offensive line. Henry Largo, the 6'1 junior, comes in to play guard, undersized junior. Clark, the end around, and he's wrapped up easily. Nice defensive play made by Miles Myler. Miles Myler impressed last year for us a couple times. He made a couple nice plays, and here he is again making a nice defensive stop.
Yeah, he's kind of become the de facto leader of the defensive backs. He's been in the system, in the program for longer than anybody else at this point. He was the only junior starter that's returning. So it's good to see him get downfield and make a nice play in the backfield.
Loss of 2, on the TFL by Myler. Jags looking to throw over the middle. Looks like, that'll be a fly. I thought that was close. Good. Near side line judge had a good angle. Looked like free tag was held over the middle. This should give Jefferson a gain of a couple yards. We'll see what they think, though. I don't know if it'll be pass interference or defensive holding.
Yeah, that one's going to be tight. I don't know. Josh Waddle, the sophomore, got a little bit handsy there. His free tag hit him with a quick slant route.
See on our Floyd's Bar replay, Weedle kind of got beat on the dagger to the outside, and free tag knew it right away that he was grabbed. The laundry came in from the near side. We had a good angle on that here in the broadcast booth, and I think the line judge did as well.
I mean, that's a tough spot to put a 6'5", 230-pound outside linebacker.
Correct.
In when you're guarding an all-state basketball guard and one of the best wide receivers in the state as well, who's getting major Big Ten looks. But Wadle did a good job of hanging in there, but he got a little handsy. It's just a lesson to learn as a young player.
Still a discussion being had on the field. Week 1 for the refs, too. It's defensive holding the call, so it'll just be a 5-yard penalty.
I believe they got that right. It wasn't
spot
necessarily
foul,
a catchable
actually,
ball.
Yep. Spot foul and second down after the Wadle penalty. Handoff for Jefferson. Weber
swallowed up there by Jackson Rosingen.
Boy, Weber gets up slowly. He's a 5'10", 157-pound junior. He looks pretty tiny when he gets swallowed up by those big Chaska up front boys.
I mean, the 3 seniors up front, Rector, Rosingen, Schmitz, as well as Smalley plugs in there quite a bit. I mean, that's a tough defensive front to run against.
Something Chaska has done really well the last couple years is those big men up front. Free tag far side hauls it in on the reception for Jefferson. and it'll be a first down for the Jags. Freitag gets up hollering. 3:06 to go. Clock stops temporarily as they move the chains.
A lot of quick passing options here so far for the Jaguars. The DBs are going to have to adjust. Harmson working wide side at all times. Myler working wide side at all times. They might have to get downhill a little earlier.
Audible coming in from the sideline. Jefferson specialist taking instruction from Tyson Schultz, the 6'4 junior QB.
Would expect a quick look outside to Freitag here on the wide side.
Freitag instead extends the play. Hit as he throws is Schultz, and ball short hops the coaching staff on the near sideline, and not a chance for anybody to get near that one. Schultz was pressured well by the Chaska defensive front.
Yeah, Coach Young putting his shiny new toy in Josh Wadle to work. He's getting after Schultz. He's going to make it a long night for number 2 for the Jags.
Versatile kid, number 36 in purple, Wadle, 6'5", 225. We've talked about him
a number of times. A little bit here.
Shotgun snap high, handled by Schultz. Throws over the middle. Freitag. Nice defensive break up there in the secondary. Miles Myler coming in to harass Freitag. Pretty well put ball once again by Schultz, but Chaska defense played it better.
What a blitz there by Ethan Perkins up the middle. Absolutely demolished that play. You'll see 45 just blowing up the guard, getting in there, allowing his DBs time to recover a little bit and knock that one down.
Russell Gillette also involved in the breakup for Chaska. Gillette, a 5'10 junior. 3rd and long for the Jags, stepping into one and incomplete. Schultz looking to the far side for Danny King. Just out of the reach of King the junior, and it brings up 4th and long for Jefferson.
Yeah, if it's out of the reach of King, that's saying something because he's 6'4", 210. Jaguars definitely got away from with a hold there on the left side. It might have been the left tackle, otherwise the up back. But Wadle was in there to make another play, and he was held.
Chaska forces Jefferson's punt team to come out. Myler back deep to receive the punt. Robert Traylor will boot for Jefferson. Low kick handled by Myler. Fair caught at the 20-yard line, and it's where Chaska will take over 1st and 10 with 2:19 to go here in the first half. Gives us a chance to thank Swagelock of Minnesota, North Dakota, and Appleton. They're proud supporters of Hawks football. At Swagelock, our fluid system solutions are designed to perform under pressure, just like our Hawks football teams. We wish the Chaska Hawks football teams the best of luck this season. Mike, I hope the Chaska Hawks football team doesn't need luck this season. They're showing out here really well on opening night from Chaska High School.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of rinse and repeat for the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, this program is now a reload instead of rebuild type situation, and our numbers reflect that. We have 50 freshmen. We got 45 sophomores coming through, so it's a good problem to have for the Hawks.
Chaska back in action here. Turner scampering around the middle of the field. He's up for a gain of 5, up to the 25, before he's stopped there by the Jaguars' Jackson Donnelly.
Yeah, Reese has got a little bit of battering ram to him, but he also has got quite a bit of shiftiness in short space.
Hawks,
nice run there by
Hawks
Reese.
Go hurry up with under 2 to go in the first half. Courtney claps his hand, snaps, rolls out left side. Looking for a deep option. This is Derek Hansen, and Hansen hauls it in before he steps out of bounds. The Chaska junior with his first catch of the season, up across midfield. Courtney to Hansen for a big gainer.
Yep, beautiful job there by Courtney to let that play develop. He did have Atterbury on a quick out, but he wanted it all, and he took it. Jaguars came out in a cover 2 again. Cornerback passed it off. No safety was there to be found because the Chaska's running game's been so effective. They've been so good in the short area.
That's a tough ball to throw, Mike. There's some wind up here, and it's blowing from east to west. So Hansen had to track that ball while it was in the air. He did a good job, and it puts Chaska on the Jefferson side of the field. Once again, handoff up the middle for Reese Turner. He's up for just a casual gain of 4 or 5. Hansen, if you recognize that name, Nolan Hansen was a 2019 graduate. Really, really good wide receiver with that 2019 Chaska football crew. Jeff Hansen, hate to say it, Jeff, longer time ago, also a Chaska Hawk. Courtney looking deep once again. This ball is picked off by Freitag, though. Courtney was looking for Wicker inside the 5. It was a really, really athletic play made by the Jefferson stud Daniel Freitag to pick it off, and the first turnover of the year for Chaska is a pick.
I love the aggressiveness and I love the play calling. That's not the guy. That's not the spot. I mean, you get the scouting report with how good high school football has become with scouting and everything and the tape available. That's not the shot you want to take. You maybe want to peek to the other side, but Freitag's going to be roaming the wide side. You have to be aware of that as a senior quarterback. And he went up and made a play.
Wicker by the book, 6'3", 170. I think that's maybe a little generous considering Freitag looked a little taller than him on that interception. But like you said, Mike, interception made by their top player. It's not a one-on-one you want to pick.
No, I called the basketball game against Jefferson, and I think Freitag had 3 or 4 dunks, so we know we can get up.
Yep. Jefferson plunges out of their own end zone, gain of about 8 by Nasende. Gets them out of the danger zone, and they'll move quickly here with under just about a minute and change, here in the first half. They got 90 yards to go.
That was Schultz with a quick sneak up the middle, something I used to utilize quite a bit in that goal line situation because everyone fires off. They're trying to create havoc in the backfield, and they forget about right up the middle.
Quick first down for Jefferson. That, I think, was just a mission there on those last couple plays, although we do have an injured Jaguar. This is not good in the last minute of the first half, but the clock stopped anyway for a first down to move the chains. So the injured Jaguar is number, I think it's 58, right? Will Sanders?
I believe it is, yes.
Looked like 58. It gives us a chance.
54,
you're right. Henry Largo. So the 6'1 junior getting help on the field gives us a chance to step aside here on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network with under a minute to go in the first half. Back from Chaska High School, Hawks Broadcast Network brought to you in the second quarter by Floyd's Bar in Victoria. Nice spot. Go listen to some live music on the weekends. And injured Jaguar has been helped off, and we're back underway. Clock will tick here after the Jefferson first down. They rinse off about 5 seconds before going back through the air. Freitag far side, hauls it in. Nice catch. Perfectly placed ball by Schultz, and Freitag brought it in right of the breadbasket along the sideline. It'll help Jefferson with a stoppage of the clock. We'll also move the ball 20 yards upfield.
Yeah, this is where you got to get a little bit more conservative. Freitag out there making plays. As we mentioned him before, Harpson shadowing him now in this situation. It's obviously passing.
Clock didn't start there. Ball goes over the middle, maybe a couple extra seconds. It should have came off the clock, didn't. Clock will stop here with 40 to go after Jefferson tosses over the middle. Danny King, check that, it was Cormac Radford the beneficiary on that one. 34 to go, Jefferson moving quickly. Here comes Schultz again over the middle. Freitag brings it in, breaks a tackle up to the 25, and he's brought down. It'll stop the clock once again. Boy, Jefferson's turned on the Jets here in the last minute.
Yeah, nice job there by Myler making an open tackle on the athletic wide receiver. As a quarterback, you like going tempo because the defense is on their heels. It allows you to operate and be able to move the pocket quite a bit as the Jags spike the ball, stopping the clock with 22 seconds left. This is where the timeouts come into play, Ryan.
Right. Yeah, they had 2 timeouts that they called on a 3rd and long earlier in the game and a 4th and short on defense. And now here they are forced to go hurry up in the last drive. It worked well for them, put Chaska's defense on their toes a little bit. 22 seconds left, though they only have 1 timeout to spare.
Yeah, Chaska tends to go conservative in the pass rush in this situation, but it looks like they're bringing it this time.
Nasende in the backfield, flag coming in. It's going to be a hold against Jefferson, so Schultz is just better to throw the ball out of bounds. Near the sideline, a nice effort by Cormac Radford. Line judge says his toes were out of bounds, so incomplete pass, but this will be coming back even further. It'll be a hold against the Jaguars.
Yeah, Radford's pleading his case, and I think he might have had a good one there. Actually, it was a heck of a toss and a heck of a catch on the sideline, but definitely a hold on the backside of the Jaguars line.
14 seconds on the clock now. The flag came in earlier, and Chaska's defensive rush knew exactly what it was immediately, so Schultz didn't know the flag was in. Otherwise, he should have just thrown it away. It was a nice effort, like you said, made by Cormac Radford. He dragged his toes. Looked like he might have got one in, but the line judge on the side there said no. And Jefferson will back up. See, this puts a damper on that nice 60-yard drive that they had put together, or 80-yard drive that they had put together, and now you back up the chains a little more. 14 seconds ago, you got 37 and change to move the football.
Yeah, Chaska sent in Leo Somali to go play that 5 technique defensive end, and he was able to draw the penalty. He's a big boy coming off the edge.
Move the ball up a yard to the 37. 14 seconds to go. We're going to stop the clock again. Looks like we've got an issue on the down box. It should be second down on the far side there. It's showing third right now. First week, like we said, for everybody, including ourselves, Mike. Hopefully nobody's noticed.
Bear with us.
Finally, Jefferson will get a chance to snap it. They're going to look for free tag. Far side, guarded there by Harmson, and the ball was tossed out of bounds. Brought off 5 seconds off the clock. So it'll bring up third and extra long for Jefferson. We'll see if they take a shot at the end zone here or if they go for the sideline again.
Good ball, ridiculous effort there by Freetag on the outside. Harmson had him covered like a blanket, and Miles was there to help him out too, Mueller.
Plus and minuses to having that one star-studded guy. And the thing about the negative would be, well, when you're in a situation like this, pretty much everybody and their sister knows where the ball's going.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go for it once again. Cut back by Freetag. He couldn't get, they're going to say he got out of bounds. It looked close. I don't think Freetag thought he got out of bounds. He snapped his hand on the ground, and Jefferson will be forced to call their last timeout on 4th and 15 here with under 5 to play in the first half.
Great first test here for Austin Harmson, who will be the wide side corner. He'll travel with the opposing team's #1 wide receivers consistently. He's an extremely good athlete. He's shown that from a young age. The coaching staff honestly trusts him as much as they trust anybody in the backfield. He might lack a little bit of experience, but his physical traits are definitely there, and mentally he's there as well. And hopefully he's up to this. I mean, so far he's been up to this task, and this might be his best matchup all season.
Your locally owned Qdoba Mexican Eats in Chaska is a proud supporter of the Chaska Hawks football team. Don't forget that guac and queso are free on every entree, unlike some of the other guys. Remember to join Qdoba Rewards as well. You'll get free chips and queso when you do so. Stop in or order online at Qdoba.com or with the Qdoba app. I had some Qdoba today. It was delicious as always.
And I'm very jealous.
So under 5 seconds to go, referees discussing their game plan in the middle of the field, as are the other two teams on the field. See, when you become a ref, so I'm a basketball referee, you start going play-by-play over what the referees are doing. 21-0 here. Chaska hoping to close out the first half with a scoreless Jefferson push. Schultz, last play of the first half, going to look deep. There's a mash-up in the end zone. Somebody's going to have to catch it, and it's Chaska, picked off by Butler. Butler, as the horn sounds, brings it out. He's got a chance to run this one back. He does, and he's just outside the 25-yard line. So padding the stats, big first pick for Davian Butler, the 6-foot senior, and Chaska will take that ball all the way to the locker room.
Yep, good job there by Butler. Butler splitting time on the backside with Taylor Susner. He did a good job there of elevating and going and getting that one. Jaguars look a little frustrated as they head into the locker room. Hawks obviously fired up for good reason as they take a 21-0 lead, and picture perfect start here for the Hawks.
Lots of energy on that Chaska sideline after they come out hot to end the half. Chaska came out storming to start the game, had 2 quick touchdowns, an effective first drive by Reese Turner turned into a 1-yard touchdown run, plunged into the end zone, and that brought it to 7-0. Then Atterbury caught a 40-yard dime from Jamarius Courtney. That scored Chaska's second touchdown, and then Courtney did the end work himself, rushing one in for our current score of 21-0. Mike, first half takeaways, obviously an impressive showing from Chaska, but I think what we've seen is the 2 picks in big moments for the Hawks defense.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a great job on defense. This is Hawks football. Outside linebackers making plays, big heavies in the middle, controlling the line of scrimmage, and then utilizing their defensive backs in an efficient and smart way, recognizing the fact that the other team has some very skilled players on the outside.
We'll step aside momentarily. Got about 15 minutes till things get underway in the second half. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a couple to chat about some more Hawks football-related items. Give a quick shout-out to our sponsors here. Halftime, 21-0. Chaska leading on opening night.
Twin Cities Orthopedics, we believe that for every challenge, there is an answer. Grit, strength, focus, willpower. That's how we rise. That's how we win. Whatever is standing in front of your goal, we will take it down together. This is your victory. And you've earned it. At TCO, less pain is your gain.
Why is everything at Qdoba so good? Because we grill it, slice it, smash it, spice it, shred it, flip it, squeeze it, dip it, braise it, melt it, and saute it. Pour it, cook it, eat it, ate it. Roll it, cut it, mix it, roast it, press it, dice it, top it, smoke it, build it, salt it, pit it, scoop it, fresh it, toss it, and we do it in-house every day at Qdoba.
Driveway, sidewalk, or patio, Jensen Decorative Concrete has hundreds of colors and patterns to choose from. Call Jensen Decorative Concrete now through Wednesday and get free stamping with the purchase of a colored concrete project. 952-210-2692.
Hi, I'm Emily Roan-Welter with Edina Realty, and I'm here at Chaska High School with the varsity football team. I thought you might want to meet the captains. We are missing Ethan Perkins tonight, but let's meet the rest of the captains.
I'm Reese Turner, and I play running back. I'm Leo Smalley. I play right guard and defensive end.
I'm Caleb Rector, and I play left guard and defensive tackle.
I'm Andrew Schaefer, and I play slot and tight end.
Just like the Chaska football team, the Rome real estate team is built on a tradition of excellence and hard work. So I hope you enjoy the games this year. Let's cheer on our Hawks and have a great season. Soar Hawks.
Back from Chaska High School, impressive opening night start. Ryan, Paul, Mike Schmid with you here on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Thanks for tuning in. Beautiful night here for football. Beautiful night for a Chaska Hawk. 21-0 first half.
Yeah, taking 21 rip into the locker room is always a good feeling, especially on the first night of the season. So let's see if the Hawks can build on this. They've done a great job so far of just executing their game plan.
There are three big names, three big scores. Carson Atterbury, a big 40-yard catch and score. Chaska got the game started with a Reese Turner touchdown from 1 yard out, and then Jamarius Courtney, the latest touchdown. But
yeah,
those are the guys you want scoring your touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's going to be all year. We've got about 200 yards of rushing in the first half so far. We forced 2 turnovers, so the Chaska's really done a great job in all elements of the game. Small things to get nitpicky. Return game, got to do a better job of catching it off the kick. And we also have to maintain our timeouts. I mean, we've had a couple miscommunication errors, and that's really cost the Hawks a little bit as they went in to try to drive with the half ended.
Defense has been pretty effective, too. Teams are just about to take the field here for the second half. We'll step aside one more time here from Chaska High School, bring you back to the second half of action on opening night. Hawks are up 21-0 early on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Back from Chaska Stadium, Hawks are entering the field. Just about 3 minutes to go before we start the second half here from the Hawks Nest, Chaska High School. It's been a promising start for Chaska so far. 3 big touchdowns from the team in purple, and Brian Dahl has got a lot to be happy about here, Mike, on opening night.
Yeah, I mean, just going over the stats, looking at it, I mean, I've got Jamarius Courtney right around 90 yards and a rushing TD. I've got Reese Turner at right around 90 yards and a rushing TD. Schaefer also has right around 30 yards. He doesn't have any TDs, but he's doing everything right, and the offensive line is absolutely clicking. I would be remiss if we didn't even mention the defense, because they've done an excellent job, as we mentioned during the halftime break, forcing those 2 turnovers and really controlling the line of scrimmage. So it's been a fairy tale start.
Correct, and you know, Jefferson bring the talent that they do. It's not exactly the toughest test Chaska is going to see all year, but Chanhassen next week, we talked about it a little bit earlier this week, but that Storm team is going to be tough, and Chaska knows that.
Yeah, I mean, Chan returns so much talent, and regardless of how the 2 teams match up, being a crosstown rival, it's always difficult. You know, this was almost a trap game here for the Hawks so far tonight. I mean, they knew that they had probably a little bit more manpower than the Jaguars, returning what they did, but they've been up to the task. It's so simple to come out flat when you've got a rivalry game the next week, and Chaska's really taking care of business. Hopefully they can close this one out fairly soon, and then we can pivot towards Chan, because we know that mashup with Muffenbauer. Chan won, I believe it was 27-7 against Hastings last night. So they're going to be up to a little bit of a taller task here for Chaska. And the programs know each other so well. Both coaching staffs are so familiar with each other that, I mean, you can kind of throw everything out at that point, and it's just kind of who gets the best bounce.
And the thing about Chaska Chan is you never know what's going to happen.
No,
I mean,
it's always weird.
We've seen it in basketball, we've seen it in volleyball, we've seen it in almost every sport. you could have a completely lopsided matchup on paper, and I mean that's an overtime game. You never know when that field is going to be packed over there, a mile and a half away next Friday night. It's going to be a loud atmosphere and something a lot of these high school kids have never experienced before.
I mean, it's been a really long time since, like specifically with the football programs, that there's been a lopsided one. I mean, like I said, the coaching staffs just know each other so well. They know exactly what we want to do and how to stop it. We know exactly what they want to do and how to stop it. So really, like I said, it comes to a couple of bounces. It might come to a referee call, and I don't want to offend your referee sensibility, but that's typically what turns the tide of the game. I mean, we remember a couple of years ago when your brother was playing, Ethan Bachman was playing, Ethan Bachman caught a touchdown in the back of the end zone. They said he was out of bounds. That kind of turned the tide of the entire game. So I would expect to see something maybe a little funny next week. But hopefully this, like with 15, 16 seniors, they should be up for it and ready.
And Chaska hoping to close this one out and even maybe towards the end of the game get in some of those things that they might want to work on here heading into rivalry week here on week 2 that's coming up. And that game will be at Chanhassen. We won't be back until the 23rd of September here at home. Hawks will travel to Benilde St. Margaret's during week 3, and then week 4 brings Waconia to town, another Carver County rivalry, and one that's going to be renewed. It's been a nice thing to see the last couple of years. Chaska and Waconia really going at it, especially in some nice competitive matchups late in the season.
Yeah, I think Waconia probably has maybe the best player in the conference. Their running back and their middle linebackers getting a ton of Big Ten looks. He won state as a wrestler as a sophomore and freshman. I mean, he is an elite player. His name's slipping my mind. Thank you. As I deal with the early season woes, I'm not quite back into the swing of things. But McAnally really brings a different element for the Wildcats. And as that town grows, as that community grows, the program grows as well. Excuse me.
Yeah, but you're right though. Waconia it's a growing community. We've seen that the last couple of years. Chaska, Max McAnally had Stapleton a couple of years ago. Now McAnally, he destroyed a couple plays last year in the game. It's just
last year was him against Boyle, basically.
Right. Yep, that's right. All right, here we go. Second half of action just about to get underway as Mike recovers from his coughing nightmare.
Yep,
Quentin Meyer blows it deep into the end zone for Chaska, for Jefferson. It'll be brought out from the goal line. Looked like it could have been close to a touchback, and ball still live. Finally blown dead at the 24-yard line after Jefferson returns it out from the goal line for a adequate gain. That was Ryan Prowitz on the return.
Yeah, Prowitz gets an extra 3 or 4 from what he would have gotten in the touchback. It looked like he might have stepped into the end zone there, but they let the play run.
Yep, I thought so too. But either way, Jefferson gets out to right around the 20-yard line, getting a couple extra yards off the return. But 9 seconds burned off in the kickoff, Mike, you were saying.
Yeah, good opportunity for the defense to make another statement here. If they can come out and get a 3-and-out right away or get a turnover, this game might be over really quick.
We saw how Jefferson moved the ball in the last minute of that first half, going at that hurry-up. Moved it as the most effectively we'd seen him all game long. Blowing it up in the backfield, though, is Chaska's number 73. That's big Caleb Rector. Quality defensive play, 6'3", 285, and he blows things up on the first play from scrimmage in the second half.
We haven't called his name very much, but he's definitely controlled the line of scrimmage both on defense and offense. Caleb Rector is I'd say one of the premier, if not the premier offensive defensive lineman in the conference. He's going to be in for a big year.
Jefferson making some last-minute adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Schultz looking to pass, finds an option over the middle, and it's number 18, Radford, who's upended after a gain of 5. Cormac Radford, who made that acrobatic effort towards the end of the first half on the sideline that it was then ended up being nullified by a holding call.
Yeah, Jefferson operating with almost a Chip Kelly-like offense, working quickly, working at the line, making all their calls there. And they draw an offsides call as Rector jumps. Rare mistake by the senior.
It'll give Jefferson a first down as it was 3rd and 4.
Something I want to touch on too, Ryan. I think that was maybe the third run play that Jefferson's called of the entire game. They started off with a run, they went back to the run there, but I mean it's been all through the air for the Jaguars since.
They've been pretty effective. I mean, the numbers aren't going to necessarily reflect it, but they've had some quality 5, 6, 7, 8 yard completions over the middle, and then they've had a couple nice deep balls. Freetag moved the ball well in that end of that first half, but you're right. It's a completely different style offense than what Chaska is used to seeing in practice. Handoff for Max Clark, end around. Nice effort made in the backfield. Just got blocked away. That was number 36. That's your guy, Wadle, and a gain of about 3 after Clark is pushed out of bounds at the 39-yard line.
Coach Dahl does such a good job of making teams earn everything. Chaska is notorious for not giving up any big plays. I mean, when you have to sustain long drives, it just leads to a lot of mistakes on offense, and Chaska's continuing to do that.
Going quick, the Jaguars. Handoff once again. Schultz hands off to Nyasende, and he gains a couple of yards. It'll bring up 3rd down. Apologize if you hear a little bit of wind. It's become breezy once again. Yeah, it's a beautiful night up here. Nice sunset out to the west over the trees here at Chaska High School, but a little bit of a breeze feels quite nice on this early September evening.
Nice stop there by Preston on their ends.
Under 10, 3rd quarter. Jefferson looking for the far side. Danny King caught it.
Yep, just a quick shot there into the soft spot in that cover 2 zone. Chaska primarily plays zone. They will rarely go man, but it's usually a cover 2, cover 3. So that soft spot's just beyond the corner, and they were able to hit it into this stiff wind.
Gain of about 20 for Jefferson into Chaska territory. Movement on the outside. This ball is batted at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Tyson Schultz might have got his hand hit. He's waving that hand around like that ball was batted while it was still in his hand. We have an injured Jaguar on the field. That's number 55, Matthew Jonas. Second time he checked that number. Yeah, it is 55, Jonas. He's down for Jefferson. Gives us a chance to step aside here quickly on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Jensen Decorative Concrete provides a variety of concrete services, including stamped and colored driveways, sidewalks, pool decks, patios, basements, garages, and more. Give us a call today for all of your concrete needs. Cottoman Orthodontics has a new Chaska location off of Engler Boulevard at 1200 Chaska Creek Way. Don't let your snaggled tooth tackle your smile. Get that grin back in the pocket. With over 75 years of experience, Cottoman Ortho has your back. And we'll come back here live to Chaska High School as number 55, Jonas has been helped off the field, and 9:33 to go. Jefferson 2nd and 10.
Cramping always an issue early on in the season.
That's correct.
That's what Jonas is dealing with.
Especially when you have these hot days. Practicing the last couple weeks in hot weather. Keeping it is Schultz. Haven't seen him do this often tonight. He gets tangled up, kind of embraced the hit there at the 29-yard line and just fell down. It was a nice gain. 1st down, 15-yard banger for Schultz in his first big gainer of the night on his own.
Yeah, Schultz looks like he's dealing with a little bit of cramping as well. Good job there by Schultz. He's got the size and speed to tuck it and run, and that's where Waddle got a little aggressive. He didn't maintain the edge. He didn't maintain his discipline, which opened up the big run.
1st and 10 from the 30. Jefferson, quick hitter, far side. In pursuit is Carl Gullen. Receiver gets free though, gains 1st down, and it's a nice run and catch for number 33 in white. That's Tevin Exey, the 5'7" junior. Springy little guy out there in 33 in white.
Yeah, the Jags have come out firing here on all cylinders. They've moved the ball down the field quickly here on this Chaska Hawks defense.
Last couple possessions for Jefferson, they've had Chaska's number. Handoff this time, swallowed up Nasende. A couple of Chaska Hawks brought him down in the backfield. 13 Schmitz and 21 Gullen involved on that one. Tackle for a loss of a couple.
Yep, good job there by Schmitz swallowing that one up. Carl Gullen's the other outside linebacker. He's going to be probably the short side outside linebacker in a lot of situations. Very good junior athlete, plays basketball as well. Good size to him.
Schmitz, 6'3", 210 senior at that left end spot. A lot of containment going to come from that side of the field. Here comes Schultz passing over the middle. This one's straight up dropped by Freitag. That one was in the hands and quickly dropped.
Yep, rare error there by the all-conference wide receiver. Kind of caught him in his hip pocket, didn't watch it, and he was looking to get upfield a little bit before he made the catch.
Chaska students taking full advantage of that mishap. 8:11 to go here, second half, or 3rd quarter, I should say. Jefferson on the far hash. Ball in the 20. Schultz in the shotgun. Rolling out wide side. Schultz across his body, throwing into the end zone looking for Freitag. That ball was out of bounds though. and no one was able to get near that one. Free tag the intended target on the far side.
Yeah, if we can get a replay there, Miles Mueller might have an argument there for offensive pass interference. He looked like he was underneath at Campton looking to get a pick, and free tag went over the top of him trying to make a play. Grabbed Miles by the helmet, really disrupted his opportunity at maybe a pick.
4th and long for Jefferson, 13 to go. They're going to keep the offense out there. Schultz in the shotgun. Chaska students on their feet. Schultz drops back, pressure back in deep, and Jefferson's going to shoot for the end zone through the hands of a couple D-backs. Intended target once again, free tag, and it's a turnover on downs for Chaska. Injured Jaguar behind the play, but Chaska will take over on the 20-yard line, and it gives us a chance to thank the Blends in Chaska, where people go for healthy, refreshing drinks and snack options, conveniently located in the Chaska Commons. They're open 7 days a week. AMIC provides leadership and guidance our clients deserve to make the remodeling process as minimally invasive as possible. Each home we remodel is one of a kind. Our talented team of architects, designers, and engineers and project developers carefully listen to how you live, and then they work together to ensure you enjoy your home for even more years to come. Visit amicinc.com for more information today. We'll step aside momentarily. Looks like some more cramping going on for the Jefferson Jaguars. We'll be right back from Chaska High School. Under 8 to play. Chaska taking back over on offense.
I'd love to see a long drive here. Started off start off this half just like they started the first half. Methodical, take your time.
Snap was short. Courtney recovered, option keeper, and gains about 8.
Yeah, I would expect to see a lot of the same here. A lot of runs up the middle, just reimpose their will. And they've they haven't had a lot of opportunities to run the ball because they got short clock at the end of the first half. Now they're opening things back up, looking to extend the lead out to 4 scores. And I'd expect them to be a little conservative here, be smart, and take care of business.
Chaska still up 21-0 after 3 first-half touchdowns. Here having the second possession of the first half. Handoff. Turner, he's free. Turner off midfield. Turner, one man to beat at the 20. Turner's free into the end zone. Touchdown. 71 yards. Scamper Reese Turner for 6.
Reese Turner, I mentioned his high-end speed in the first half. He proved me wrong. They're scampering away from any trouble. Great job. He was sprung by an absolutely huge block by Caleb Rector in the backfield that blew up the defensive end as he entered his zone. Great job, Rector. Great job, Turner. A couple of captains paying off things early.
It's 27-0. Chaska Krause in for his 4th PAT effort of the night. Snap, spot kick is up and good, and the Hawks have a 28-0 lead here on opening night from Chaska High School. That was a full-out sprint from Reese Turner.
Yeah, I mean, he's so good. Like we mentioned it last year, anytime he touched the ball, that he would be starting on any other team in our conference. I mean, we had the luxury of having Jack Boyle out in front of him, and Reese Turner is looking to make a statement here in his senior year.
Great replay here on our Jensen Decorative Concrete replay. Ethan Kim trying to trace him down. Turner turned on the Jets. He was gone. 28-0 Chaska with 7:09 to go in the third quarter. Inkart Tattoo, established in 2013, located in downtown Chaska. They offer a wide variety of services for tattoos, piercings, and fine body jewelry. All of our experienced tattoo artists and piercers are licensed, trained technicians by the Minnesota Department of Health that ensures a clean, safe environment. Schedule an appointment today at inkartmn.com. Meyer in to boot it deep for Chaska. Something we'll see this year is Quinn Meyer will handle kickoff duties, and you'll see Krause do the place kicking. Krause the place kicker last year. Obviously big shoes to fill after Dick Snuggerud a couple years ago was kicking 40 and 50 yarders, but nevertheless, if Chaska can put points on the board in forms of 6 rather than 3, I think they'll take that.
Yeah, it's always preferable, and I know the coaching staff likes it that way. Nevin Krause is basically automatic on any extra point, but he isn't the same weapon that Snuggerud was 3 years ago or 3 years ago.
Kick with the easterly wind is booted right to the 1-yard line. Running it back is number 33 for the Jags, Exie forced out of bounds at the 23-yard line, and Jefferson, like they have a couple times tonight, will take over right around that 23, 24-yard line spot.
Yeah, nice open field tackle there by Harmson. Maybe saved a potential big return there.
Been impressed by his abilities tonight. We didn't see him last year, Mike, but Austin Harmson, the 5'11 senior, he's made a name for himself so far in my book tonight. He's made a couple nice open field tackles like we just saw there. Had a couple nice plays in the secondary in that first half, and I think he's going to be a big part of that Chaska defense this year.
He's going to be a lot like Cage Montoya from a couple of years ago, where he'll travel with the other team's best wide receiver. The coaching staff's been extremely impressed with his work ethic and his smarts on the field, and he definitely has an athletic profile to be a great corner.
1st and 10, handoff up the middle, Nasendi goes nowhere.
Yeah, that's not going to work for the Jags. I mean, they abandoned the run for a reason. They should probably stick with everything through the air because they just don't have the big heavies to handle Rector, Smalley, Lorenz, and everyone else up front.
It was actually Sorensen checked out on the handoff, 5'9" junior. Maybe gained a yard. They'll give it to him. Makes it 2nd and 9, 6:35 to go here, third quarter. Looking at pass, Schultz comes near side, finds Radford. Radford's brought down nicely. Great play once again by number 36, Josh Wadle.
Yep, seeing a sophomore that moves as well as he does at his size, making an open field tackle is something that's really encouraging. As I mentioned previously, every time the new year turns, we head into a new football season. Coach Stahl says, Coach Young, who do you want at outside backer? That's kind of where the roster construction starts. Every single year he gets the best athletes. You got Steve O'Klotz, got the guys from last year, got Wadle this year. I mean, that's what makes the defense turn, so they put their athletes in the best spots, and Wadle's just the next in a long line of very good outside backers.
It's such a valuable position. You often even hear guys be recruited as athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Steve O'Klotz is a perfect example of that. He was down at Iowa State, but Wadle reminds me a lot. Just a sophomore, clocks in 225.65. I mean, the kid's got a football body. He's an athlete.
Last year as a freshman, he was the fastest player on our team, and he was our biggest player. I mean, that's all you need to know about his athletic profile and why he's getting good looks.
Radford was helped off, looked like a cramp once again. So Jefferson, eat some bananas and drink some water, boys. Over the middle into a crowded group. Passes dropped, looking for Ethan Kim with Schultz, and unsuccessful there, brings up 4th down.
Good attempt to thread the needle, but Chaska did a nice job of putting the clamps down on defense. That was number 21, Carl Gulland, who we haven't mentioned too much, but as I mentioned, he's that opposite side, outside linebacker. In this defense, we have 3 down linemen. We've got 2 outside linebackers that typically walk up to the line of scrimmage. Those guys need to be able to play in space. They need to be able to cover, and they need to be able to get it after the quarterback, and Gulland's got that profile as well.
We talked about it a little bit off-air pregame, Mike. The Chaska junior class, they might not bring the biggest numbers around, but they're going to be a big part of this Chaska team this year. This is a terrible punt. And it's not even going to pass the 45-yard line for Jefferson, and it's down there by number 52, Peyton Sheffert. And Chaska will get quality field position to start off once again. But I want to go back to that last point. It's something we didn't really touch on air here pregame. But the Chaska underclassmen are going to be important here this year. that junior class. They're going to need the help from the current sophomores next year. Going to be some valuable minutes played this year. We saw Derek Hansen with a nice catch. Just saw Gullen a couple times in the secondary, but it's going to be important here.
Yeah, the sophomore class brings a lot of high-end talent. They've got 4 or 5 guys already seeing significant playing time, which is something that we haven't seen in this program in a long time. The junior class also has the same numbers, about 4 or 5 guys, but we're going to see a lot of juniors rotated in here that will be significant.
Something really nice, something that Chaska's had the luxury as Turner turns on the Jets once again here and gains a casual 10. Chaska's had a lot of really, really good senior classes. I mean, they had 26 seniors this year.
Yeah, they're like I said to you off air. If they don't rebuild, they reload. The systems in place, the programs in place, whether from the weight room, the classroom, the coaching staff, everything is at a high level. So they're able to turn out quite a bit of high-quality talent. And by the time you get to your 4th year in the system, you're going to be a good football player.
I mean, deep ball to the end zone. This one's overthrown. It was a rocket out of the hand of Courtney. He was looking for Atterbury, just overthrew him by about 10 yards. But
yep, and Atterbury took a trip down to Shakopee to go pick up that softball.
They raise him right here in Chaska.
He actually had Carson in that situation. It's just a ball caught a gust of wind, and he overthrew him. That would have been another 6 for Atterbury if the ball would have been delivered.
That flag is gusting pretty significantly there on the north side of Chaska Stadium here. Pretty steady flow to that flag. 5:17 to go. Clock stopped after the incompletion. Hawks will spread it out again too wide. Backfield is Turner. They'll counter. Courtney's going to keep it, though, on the option. Courtney up the middle. Courtney's free. Courtney's got a guy to beat. Free tag finally pops him down at the 1 or 2 yard line, but Courtney really turned on the burners there. Near the end zone, he just got beat by the Jefferson stud.
Yeah, great reach there, or great read there by Courtney to pull that ball out of Turner's belly there and take it for himself. He had 2 lead blockers, good play calling, and then he almost got it in the end zone. For a second there, I thought he might have lost the ball, but he lost the shoe into the back of the end zone. Luckily for the Hawks.
That's, you mentioned the downfield blocking. I mean, it's been impressive all night. These read options, especially with the quarterback keeping. I mean, you get some good downfield blocking from not only your big guys in the middle, but you get your tight ends. Schaefer has had a couple effective blocks as Turner gets into the end zone once again. But I mean, that's a big part. If you can block 5-10 yards downfield, you're gonna have a lot of second chances down the field.
A lot of systems and a lot of offenses put their best offensive linemen at tackle or center. The Hawks like to utilize their best offensive linemen in the guards positions because they do so much pulling. Caleb Rector is a freshman, was our best lineman, but he also ran running back plays quite often because he was that good of an athlete. I mean, he moves extremely well for the 6'3", 6'4", 260, 270 that he is, and it's showing in a lot of these running plays.
So Turner scores his 2nd touchdown of the night. Kraus, 3rd touchdown of the night. Check that, and the Hawks go up 35-0. The route is officially on, and we'd like to thank the Crooked Pint, located in the Chaska Curling and Event Center. Crooked Pint Ale House in Chaska is the perfect restaurant for a night out with friends, the family, or your team after a big win. I think classify this one as a big win, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, they've got over, I would argue, probably right around, if not over 300 yards. We've got at least 160, 170 from Turner. And we know Jamarius Courtney's well over 120 yards as well. Add in Schaefer's a few yards and Horvu as well. I mean, if you can rush for 300 yards before we hit the 4th quarter, that's going to be a good night.
Yep. You're exactly right, and it's a trademark of Chaska football. They don't throw the ball more than maybe 120, 125 times a year. You see some teams throw the ball 250 a year, but like you said, you get 300 in 3 quarters, no need to throw the ball.
They've done it.
Do want to finish this point, though, just from the classic pub furnishings and finishes, fresh recipes and authentic smiles. Crooked Pint is the real deal. You found your neighborhood gathering place. We'll see you at the Pint. Great spot down there in downtown Chaska.
I almost didn't let you mention the Juicy Lucy's down at the Crooked Pint.
Just
That's an error on my behalf. But yeah, the Chaska's been able to open up the passing game a little bit and show enough to keep the Jaguars honest. And they're going to have to do that against the tougher opponents as we move on to the season.
4:36. This ball gets caught up in the jet stream and blows through the end zone. Quinn Meyer might be a stringy kid, but boy, does he have a leg on him. And Jefferson, once again, off the touchback, will take over at the 20.
Yep, big-time boot there by Meyer. Something that we haven't seen the Hawks utilize at the varsity level too often.
That's right.
They've been typically a pooch kick style team. You know, they'll sacrifice maybe giving up the ball at the 25, 20, or 30 for an attempt to go get it. But if you've got a big leg, you might as well use it, minimize any mistakes that can happen in the return game, which has been probably their weakest aspect so far. And that's not saying a ton because they haven't been that bad, but special teams is something they got to work on.
4:36, Jefferson hands off.
Schmitz absolutely wrecked that play at the line of scrimmage. Great job on his behalf, but getting off his block and making a play.
Start to see a couple new faces in there for Chaska. Adam Clausen, the junior, in at the middle linebacker spot. Schultz keeping, Schultz dragged down in the backfield.
Schmitz is having a big game from that 5 technique, that defensive end technique. It's typically not a big stat position in this defense. You're typically there to utilize the eat blocks along with the other big heavies in the middle. But Schmitz has really put a lot on tape here so far. He's showing me something tonight.
Now Schmitz looks like he's cramping up, and he does not want to get up. So,
not our Schmitz. That's their Schmitz.
I'm sorry, Schultz. Yeah, Schultz. You're right. Gosh. So with 3:46 to go, we will step aside as Schultz is 10-2. He's getting stretched out right there at the 15-yard line. We'll step aside. 3:46 to go. Hawks routing Jefferson. Schultz is out of the game. Looks like cramps. At least that's what we hope it is. Jefferson's had 3 or 4 guys now have to be helped off with cramps. So definitely something the Jags will chat about this week. Maybe get some extra gallon jugs of water on Friday at school.
Yeah, looks like Robert Taylor's in.
Trailer goes quick counter in the backfield to, who was that? Was that Nasende? No, that was Weber. So Trailer gets the call at the backup quarterback spot. As Schultz is out, we'll see Schultz is still on his back getting stretched out there on the sideline. He looks like he's in a pretty good amount of pain, but it does look like it's just cramp. So Jefferson fans need not worry too much, hopefully. Jefferson in punt formation, 4th and 10 with 3 and change to go here in the third quarter. Good snap. Jefferson's punt is up and it's short. That's not being helped by the wind in any way. Gets a fortuitous bounce for Jefferson, but not saying much. Goes to the 42-yard line, and that's where Chaska will once again take over. So we'll see. 35-0. Do you keep Jamarius Courtney in there? Get him some reps here, maybe with some guys they haven't played a lot with, but you know, you got some younger guys that you'd like to see get some time if they can afford it.
Yeah, I mean, you do have younger guys you want to get a glimpse at, but you also need to make sure that everyone has the ability to go 4 quarters.
Right.
I would expect a lot of the starters to get pulled as soon as we get into the 4th quarter. But we need to make sure the endurance level is there for these guys, so next week when we go into rivalry week, cramping doesn't become an issue like it has for the Jaguars.
Xavier Harvey in the backfield with Courtney, who stays in. At the 42, they start off. Harvey with the carry. Harvey through the first line up to the 35 and a little more. Brought down on the play by Malachi. Nope, check that, Ben Thorman.
Yeah. Harvey was a really good hard-nosed runner. He's another guy where it's kind of an embarrassment of riches here for the Hawks, where they can pull out Turner and give Harvey the ball and really trust him. He's a great football player and a great young man. I think that the reason Jamarius might be in is because the Hawks don't necessarily have an answer as their number 2 quarterback as well.
Second and short, handoff once again. Harvey protecting the ball, steamrolls a Jefferson would-be tackler, gains the first down and a little extra. Harvey just blew right through the 240-pound, 6'4" Tom Gronis.
Yeah, so it looks like Turner's done for the night. He's on the sidelines with the helmet in hand, but I don't foresee seeing him again. It's kind of a stay healthy situation now that they're up by, 7 scores? 5 scores, excuse me.
First and 10. Courtney takes a snap high, recovers, once again up the middle. Harvey just chewing away clock. Get Harvey his carries.
I'm going to predict Harvey goes for almost 100 yards here the rest of the way. We might have 300-yard rushers for the first time in a long time here for the Hawks. But he's got the ability, and he's going to get to work as we wind down the clock. I'm sure the coaches are telling Jamarius to be a little bit more careful and cautious.
Still 20 seconds left on the play clock. I mean, yeah, you could run this one out pretty quick, but obviously still worth getting the reps in for Chaska. Harvey once again with the ball up the right side now. Good for a gain of 4 or 5. He's going to be close to the line of gain, actually. Going to be just short.
Yeah, it looks like Schultz is checking out. He might be done for the night. I would anticipate he probably is.
Schaefer comes out, and Joseph Nelson checks in. 60 seconds left, 3rd quarter.
Productive first game there by Schaefer, doing a little bit of everything, carrying the ball, doing a great job blocking, making a couple tackles on special teams.
Aiden Fontaine splits outside with Hunter Munson. Hawks go up the gut once again, though. Harvey still going, and Harvey finally brought down by Freitag and Donnelly, but Chaska moves the chains. First down at 42 seconds left. Clock will continue to run, and the Hawks look like they're close to punching yet another one in here on this Jefferson defense.
Yeah, Harvey plays so hard. He's got that low center of gravity. He's perfect for the running back position at this level. He doesn't necessarily have the speed of Turner or the moves of Turner when he's finishing his runs, but he's going to put his head down and get a 4, 5, 6 in a cloud of dust.
Same play. This time Harvey, little extra on that one. Inside the 5, he's brought down. Boy, got a penalty on this one. We'll see what happens. Might be backing up. It's in the backfield within holding territory, so nice run.
For holding.
We said there was a little extra on that one. Well, it was holding. So it'll back Chaska up. It'll honestly come to the benefit of the game as clock will run a little extra as Chaska will presumably just continue up the middle, but 9 seconds left in the first quarter, and then we'll hit the final 12 minutes here from Chaska High School.
Yep, it looks like Carson Volbrick getting ready to maybe enter this game. Volbrick, 6'4" junior, operating as the backup quarterback. Good passer. Doesn't necessarily have the same elements as Jamarius does in regards to the running game. It looks like they're going to turn everything over to him here fairly soon.
Time expires on the 3rd quarter. We will head to the 4th. Chaska up 35-0. Coach Todd Meisel leading the Chaska "We Are" chant will step aside from the Hawks Nest here. Hawks up big. Back from Chaska, fourth quarter presented by Willie McCoy's. Appreciate their sponsorship. New quarterback in for the Hawks, Carson Volbrecht, 6'4", 175 junior. Hands off on this first play, gain of a couple for Davey. Harvey, you're right.
Yeah, you can see the offensive line has kind of been changed out here. And the push definitely wasn't the same as we'd seen previously. So we've got a few new bodies, including Volberg, as I mentioned, 6'4", junior. A little bit more of a pocket passing presence than Jamarius Courtney.
Got some substitutions being required. Might be some blood on Joseph Nelson's thigh or something like that.
Yeah, it looks like he's just wrapping up that upper shin.
11:32. This fourth quarter should go by pretty quickly. If you're Chaska, it's going to be pound and ground. Volbrecht takes a snap, handoff right, and that ball comes loose, and Jefferson has it. Harvey coughed it up, and the Jaguars fell right on top of it. So a little bit of juice here for Jefferson early in the fourth quarter. Fumble by Chaska is the second turnover of the night for the Hawks, and Jefferson with another takeaway.
Looks like we got a wholesale change here on defense. Harmson will stick in there. I wouldn't anticipate he'll be in for long, as both teams are kind of looking to salt this one away, get healthy, and look towards week 2.
No point for anybody to get hurt here in week 1, up 35-0. Chaska definitely cognizant of that, going to Chanhassen next week. Big battle with the Storm. 1 week from tonight. I hope you'll be able to make your way out to Chanhassen High School. Handoff up the middle. Jefferson not going anywhere with Nicholas Nasende.
Yeah, and it looks like Caleb Schmitz is in to replace Ethan Perkins in the middle of the defense. Schmitz also operates as the long snapper for this team.
Stoppage here as another Jefferson player is cramping up. So beautiful night here in Chaska. Mike, you if you're Coach Dahl here, you go to a film session tomorrow, you go to practice, quick early morning practice tomorrow. What's your message to your team? You obviously don't want to come out of this week with a big head. You want to come out with confidence, but there's no point in getting ahead of yourself, especially when you're heading over a mile and a half down the road the next week.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a tone-setting game for the beginning of the season. You've established the bar. Now you got to raise it when you go into Chanhassen. Obviously, enemy territory, tough atmosphere. First time for a lot of these young players to experience that type of atmosphere. So it's a whole new ball game, and you got to preach that. I mean, everyone's got to come ready, come prepared, and not overconfident.
See Coach Adam Wolf giving some props to his 2 backfield guys, Jamarius Courtney and Reese Turner. Big nights for both of them on this season debut.
Yeah, I mean, they've made minimal mistakes, which is kind of that's the entire game plan for the offense for the Hawks. Did a great job with ball control, and it shows.
10.5 to go in regulation. Toss to the right, and it's snuffed out beautifully on the near side by Davion Butler. Tackle for loss for the Hawks.
Butler's second big play of the game. He ended the first half with an interception as he elevated to go pick off a pass that was in the end zone, preventing the score. And this time he came downhill, played in the backfield from the safety position, and made a big play.
Davion's mom is in the crowd.
Greg got bored and cracked a funny on the PA system.
Yep.
Over the middle, nearly picked off. Target was Marcus Lamanga, and it was a ball that nearly got intercepted by Chaska's secondary. 9:40 and counting because we are in running time.
Yep, Noah Ellis back out there at corner on the wide side, and Jeremy Forrest also replacing Harmson.
Want to give a reminder, you can watch all Chaska Hawks home football games. Watch chbn.com. Also have close to 300 now archived broadcasts from past years. Football, basketball, hockey, doing a little bit of volleyball this spring. And Yeah, hope you'll check us out. Watch chbn.com. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. Jefferson's punt is down inside the 40. And Mike and I have been doing this. This is our 4th year, Mike. And we've seen some good Chaska football teams come through, and obviously got to be a part of that state championship run a couple of years ago, and hopefully more of the same this year. I can't imagine it'll be any different.
Yeah, I mean, the experience we've had up here in the booth has been awesome. Even though they kicked us out of the they kicked us out of the booth, so now we're up top on the Hawks Nest. But I think that just brings another element to our broadcast. It's always been fun. It's something I truly enjoy doing. Being around the program, being involved, and watching these kids grow has been something that's so fun. And I love giving back to the community. Obviously, COVID kind of changed things. And being able to present these broadcasts to people in Arizona, Florida, anywhere has been a great experience.
Want to give a big thanks to all of our sponsors for supporting Chaska Hawks football. I know, give a big shout out to Keela Rector, who is the one of the busiest people in Chaska. Did a great job getting all of our sponsors on board and bringing you tonight's broadcast free of charge, always on watchchbn.com, courtesy of our YouTube channel. Like I said, close to 300 games archived. You can go all the way back to 2016 if you'd like. Now up to 2022, and we'll be doing 2023 this winter. Expect to see some Chaska basketball on the Hawks Broadcast Network. Handoff this time over to Harvey. Is that Harvey? No, it's not. That is Nevin Krause. So the place kicker getting some time at tailback.
Krause's got elite speed. He played outside linebacker. He played cornerback. He's played wide receiver. He's played running back in the past. He's just got a really good football mind. Coaching him a couple years ago when he was a freshman, he logged more video time than any of our coaches did, which might be an indictment on our coaching staff a little bit, but Nevin was always in the playbook, and it's something that translates to getting him on the field early in his Hawks career.
7:10 to go in this one. Like we mentioned earlier, the next time we'll join you is 3 weeks from tonight, actually. Krause broke free, a nice 15-yard quick spurt. Actually, no, that wasn't Krause. That was that Miller?
No, that was Krause again.
Oh, you're right, yep. 15-yard quick run from Krause. Like I was saying, we'll be back 3 weeks from tonight, September 23rd. Hawks host Waconia and Max McAnally. We talked about him earlier in the broadcast, but next 2 weeks for Chaska will be tough. At Chan next week, and then they go to Benilde for week 3. Next week, Jefferson has their home opener against St. Louis Park. Be an interconference challenge once again for the Jags. Here comes Krause once again, battling through some tacklers, gaining about 8. He was initially contacted about 4 yards to the line of scrimmage, pushed up and got an extra couple of yards. We got another Jaguar down. Boy, it's probably the 5th or 6th time we've had to stop this game for a Jaguar player. Obviously, you hate to see it, but hopefully, once again, it's just cramping.
Yeah, this one looks like it might be a shoulder or an elbow. Watching that replay,
yeah, you're right.
Nevin Krause definitely does not run the ball like a kicker. Like I said, he's got that football attitude, and he brings it every play.
6:09 to go from Chaska High School. We will step aside momentarily here. 35-0 Chaska. Back at Chaska High School for the last 6 minutes and change. Jefferson had another player helped off the field. Looked like this time with a shoulder injury, so obviously don't like to see that. Volbrecht in the backfield, hands off once again. Here goes Krause, another quality run. So nice to see Nevin Krause getting some backfield time, and he's showing some promise.
I mean, he's just another one of those guys. We turn out running backs in this program. Like I said, Krause, he's a little bit undersized, but he definitely has the ability to play running back at the varsity level. He shows it with his speed. He shows it with his vision. As I mentioned, his film study, he's kind of a perfect mix of what this program has become.
Volbrecht in the backfield still. 5:21 to go. Hawks taking a little extra time off the play clock. This one's coughed up, though. Exchange was bad, and Jefferson recovers. Volbrecht couldn't fully get it into the hands of Krause, and it popped out, and Jefferson has the third takeaway of the night.
Yeah, Volbrecht didn't necessarily get a lot of the second-string snaps coming into camp. There was a few guys they were looking to give looks to. Volbrecht ended up winning that position. So those exchanges, they're tough. I mean, they're all read plays, so it's all about feel. And if you're not comfortable with the running back quarterback exchange, it can get a little dicey. Something I noticed at the end of that drive there, Ryan, was we did pull out all of our veteran offensive linemen, but we left in the two sophomores at tackle. That was Engman and Prentice, allowing them to get a little bit of extra work and game time.
4:50 to go. Jefferson takes back over. Schultz back in the game after coming out earlier. Tackle for loss, courtesy of Eli Anderson, and Eli Anderson as well as Adam Clausen in the backfield.
Yeah, I think the Hawks have maybe given up 15 total yards via the ground. Most of them coming on a QB scramble on a designed rollout. So Chaska's done a great job of just eliminating the ground game for the Jaguars.
Second and long, past the sideline, hauled in by Freitag. Nice pitch, nice catch. One bright spot tonight has been the Schultz to Freitag connection.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a good delivery, well-timed ball. Again, finding the soft spot in the zone. Davian Butler got there a little bit late, but he was able to wrap up Freitag and drive him out of bounds. So the Jaguars did earn the first down there, but I mean, at this point in the game, that's something that you'll live with.
3:50 to go. Jefferson still pushing, not giving up yet. Starters still in for them. Screen pass completely out of the reach of number 33, Exie. And clock will continue to run here in the fourth quarter. Chaska up 35.
Yeah, I think Exie owes his quarterback a Gatorade or something after that, because if he would have delivered a better ball, Exie probably would have gotten absolutely drilled on that play. He didn't have a lot of room to operate.
3:15 stands begin to thin out a little bit. Handoff this time up the middle for Evan Feller. First time we've called his name tonight, 5'10 sophomore.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to get young guys looks for the Jaguars here as well. They're going to obviously go through some growing pains. They don't have the most size by any means, and obviously they're struggling with what the Hawks are giving them, so they might as well get some young guys some looks.
Under 3, 3rd and 8 for the Jags. Schultz looking to go deep, has a man. King is open, what a catch! Danny King inside the 10-yard line. What a snag by the Jefferson Jr.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't gotten a lot going, but King's definitely got – the Jaguars have weapons on the outside, which just shows how good Chaska's been defensively. I mean, King 6'4", 210, and obviously we've mentioned Freitag enough. They definitely have weapons on the outside, so what the Hawks did to shut them down so far has been great.
Looking in the end zone, Jefferson still looking for their first points tonight. I like that tandem wide receiver crew they have. King and Radford, both 6'4", and Daniel Freitag, obviously a good complement to that as well.
Yeah, I mean, the quarterback's also 6'4". They've got good size. They've got good skill position players. They've just gotten dominated on the line of scrimmage by this bigger, meaner Hawks squad. which is something that can be said about a lot of conference opponents in the last few years.
.140 to go. Jefferson inside the 10, looking to put points on the board for the first time tonight. And it's going to happen here. Daniel Freitag into the end zone. Schultz to Freitag, and Jefferson has 6.
Yep, quick little inside slant move there by Freitag. Probably just overmatching Jeremy Forrest a little bit, who's seen his first varsity action, so getting matched up against an all-state, all-conference type player. Freitag just put a good hesitation move in, caught a hard release, and was able to get in for 6. So there goes the shutout for the Hawks. But you know what? Minute 33 left. We're okay.
Teaching moments for sure. 93 seconds left. The PAT is nearly blocked, but it's good. And Jefferson has their first points of this young season, courtesy of Daniel Freitag. Quick touchdown reception from Tyson Schultz.
Yeah, I mean, the Jags stuck with their starters to maybe build a little bit of momentum going into next week. I mean, you don't want to leave your first game without scoring a point. So good job by the Jags as they look towards their next opponent. Chaska obviously has got this one well in hand. Probably just sit on the ball here 3 straight times, end this game. Unless the Jags decide to call a timeout, which I can't imagine with the amount of cramping, the amount of injuries that they're dealing with. This is a hop on the bus and get right for next week's situation for the Jags.
Both teams have 3 timeouts, but obviously, like Mike said, don't anticipate them to be used. So with that, we do want to remind you one more time that we will be back here 3 weeks from tonight. Chaska hosting Waconia on the 23rd of September. Chaska on the road the next 2 weeks. They go to Chan for rivalry week a week from tonight, and then at Benil 2 weeks from tonight. So lots of Chaska Hawks football in the docket for you this year. We have a total of 4 games, 3 more after tonight on CHBN, and then any ensuing playoff games hopefully will be on this network. Share with your friends and family. Always free to watch, live and on demand. You'll be able to watch this game archived immediately. Watch chbn.com.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get anything goofy or any injuries here in the final minute 33. I'm going to run home and see my baby boy and my wife.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that.
2 months into being a dad, and he's here calling football games for us. Harmsden on the return. Good burst up to the 35, and he's brought out of bounds right around the 38.
Yeah, so bear with me if I make any errors here. I'm working on a little bit of sleep, not too much, but good job by Harmsden, and that's what we wanted to avoid. Looks like Harmsden's down on the far side, which is the last thing the Hawks need in this situation. Obviously up 4 scores, a minute 22 left, and you've got a potential all-conference corner laying on the ground. Hopefully it looks to be just cramping here. Harmsden hasn't been in the game for probably a good 15-20 minutes, so this little shock to his system after his adrenaline came down. This big win in the opening game.
1:22 left. Obviously hope the best for the injured Hawk, and we're going to step aside real quick on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. 1:22 left here. Harmsen has been helped off. Chaska running the ball once again. Not getting far. Got a little extra. Don't do any of that. Yeah, that's the last thing we need here with about a minute left. Chaska students calling game on the near side to our right here. First time these seniors will have the realm of their student section behind them.
Yeah, I do want to mention too, Harmsen was okay. It was cramping on the far side, so I don't see any issues going into next week where he's going to be called upon to do quite a bit against the Chan passing offense. He's still getting stretched out down there on the sidelines, but it seems to be no worse for the wear.
Chaska will knee on this one. All they've got to do is wait one more second, and this game is over. Chaska takes a 35-0 lead all the way down to the final possession of the fourth quarter. Jefferson drops a quick touchdown on them, but a successful opening week for the Hawks, and they go into rivalry week 1-0, Mike.
Yeah, business trip, staying home, but they know what they needed to do. They came in anticipating they probably were going to be able to overmatch the Jaguars on the offense and defensive line. They did just that. We saw what we needed to see out of the skill position players. We know Reese Turner is going to be our big-time back. He's going to carry the rock a good majority of the time. Jamarius Courtney did an awesome job of making decisions, trusting his eyes, doing all the right little things. Then we had our playmakers on the outside, and Schultz as well as Atterbury. Schaefer as well as Atterbury, who both did a good job of chipping in. Defense did a great job locking them up basically the entire night. Played Chaska football.
3 touchdowns out of Reese Turner, 1 for Atterbury and 1 for Courtney. Really, really positive looks on the Chaska offensive side of the ball, and the defense looked really, really impressive as well. We're going to sign off here from Chaska High School. We'll see you back here on CHBN 3 weeks from tonight, September 23rd. Hawks host Waconia during week 4. Hope you'll make it over to Chan next week for rivalry night in Carver County. For Brett Johnson, Mike Schmidt, I'm Brian Paul saying so.